He's taken the mound as a major leaguer in 2 different millennia. He's plied his craft for 11 different teams, including one that no longer exists. He lit up the radar gun at 24 and continues to keep hitters guessing at 45. He set the baseball world on fire at 42 years old with 1 swing of the bat.
It's out of here! Bartolo has done it! The impossible has happened!
He brought the defending World Series champions to their knees while rarely topping 90. 21 seasons, over 500 starts, a lifetime of memorable moments. Bartolo Colon is the most interesting man in baseball.
Interesting is deed. So many great nicknames for Bartolo Colon, and of course the ageless wonder will be going against the Boston Red Sox and Chris Sale tonight, and what a pitching matchup it will be between these two as the Rangers try to salvage a win after losing the first 2 in this series to Boston. And welcome into the booth, everybody. I am CJ Nikowski along with Tom Grieve. Tom, we love these starts when Bartolo Colon takes them out, not just because he's fun, not just because of the history, but he's also been pretty good as of late, and he is chasing a little bit of history tonight.
Yeah, we're going to look at the Latin wins leaders one more time to see where he stacks up. He passed Juan Marichal for the all-time wins leader as a Dominican pitcher. He's still tied with Dennis Martinez at 245. A win tonight would put him ahead of Dennis Martinez. His last start in Detroit was a really nice start. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. He gave up a couple of home runs in that game, but he lost 3-1. Jordan Zimmerman for the Tigers pitched a gem. He's the oldest pitcher to throw a complete game, that game, since Jamie Moyer 8 years ago. He's throwing strikes. He's got a real test tonight against the Red Sox because these guys are swinging the bats. He pitches to contact. He'll have to worry about keeping the ball in the ballpark tonight.
He certainly will. The lineup, of course, with the Red Sox is extremely good. One of the best in all of Major League Baseball, but it's also what they're doing on the pitching side, and the Rangers get their ace. That is what makes this so interesting. It's Chris Sale going tonight.
Yeah, and you almost don't know where to start when you start talking about Chris Sale. This is one of the most dominating pitchers in the game, not only this year, but over the last 4 or 5 years. When you look what he's done for the season, his ERA is 5th in the league. He struck out 171 batters. That's first. His opponent's batting average is second, only 181. But he's gotten even better over his last 3 starts. He's 3-0. His ERA is 0.45. 20 innings, 3 walks, 36 strikeouts, and in the last 44 innings, he hasn't given up a home run. So this guy's pretty tough.
He certainly is, and this will be a fun one to watch. Bartolo Colon, Chris Sale, the Texas Rangers, and the Boston Red Sox. Well, last night was pretty interesting as well, and when we get back, John Radigan is going to put some of the StatCast numbers that we saw last night in our spotlight.
Game 3 just inside that building. Fenway Park coming your way very shortly as we welcome you inside Fenway Park for the last time this season. Up next on the 10-game road trip for the Rangers is a trip to Baltimore, where last night Manny Machado hit what StatCast is calling a gargantuan home run, 444 feet with an exit velocity of 109.5. In our Shiner Box Spotlight tonight, we show you a real gargantuan home run off the bat of Rougned Odor. His lefty yard with an exit velocity of 109.9 and went 447 feet faster and farther than Manny's. StatCast had fun with this last night too. Jackie Bradley's Jr. 4-star catch robbed Ronald Guzman. Only Delino DeShields has more 4-star catches than Jackie Bradley Jr. Finally, Nomar Mazara had his heart broken, and he broke StatCast. Mookie Betts catches that ball over the wall. Because it was over the wall, StatCast didn't even register a catch probability. We broke StatCast. Tonight, we may break another record. It may be history in this historic ballpark. You see some of the great names of players who have played here. Tonight, Bartolo Colon tries to make a little history of his own. We're back with that and more on Fox Sports Southwest.
Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer.
$2 for a program.
Well, we are just about ready to get underway here at Fenway Park, and what a matchup we have for you between the Rangers and the Red Sox. The Red Sox have taken 2 of the first 3. This will be the season series finale, and the Rangers going to try to get a win tonight as they send Bartolo Colon to the mound. And let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines lineup for those Rangers tonight. Delino DeShields will be leading things off. Elvis Andrus is second. Nomar Mazara, followed by Adrian Beltre. Rougned Odor will be batting 5th. Jurickson Profar, Robinson Chirinos, Joey Gallo, and then finally Ryan Rua rounding things off against Chris Sale.
Yeah, Chris Sale, one of the best. We'll take a look at his pitch arsenal. His 4-seam fastball, he throws it 38% of the time. Late in the game, it's liable to be 100 miles an hour, 99 miles an hour. He also throws a slider and throws it a lot. That's a strikeout pitch for him 34% of the time. He'll throw some changeups and a couple of 2-seam fastballs every now and then. The Red Sox defense tonight is brought to you by Jack in the Box. an excellent defensive outfield. All three of these guys, Benintendi, Bradley Jr., and Betts, can play center field. Eduardo Nunez will play third base tonight. Mitch Moreland's at first. Xander Bogaerts and Brock Holt up the middle. And catching will be Sandy Leon.
And Chris Sale's ready to deliver his first pitch, and it is a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to Delano DeShields, taking called strike one. So first pitch at 7:11 p.m. here on the East Coast. And Sale ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch. That one misses upstairs. Sale keeps a pretty good pace, something to keep an eye on. 22.1 is that pace, just slightly better than league average. And there are the numbers for Delano DeShields. As you see there, leading the American League in bunt hits. And because of that, Eduardo Nunez is playing even with the back at third base. And the 2-1 from Sale, 97. So the count now even 2-2. A much cooler night this evening here at Fenway Park. 69 degrees game time temperature. It's been pretty warm the first two, but it's cooled off a little bit. Turned into a very nice summer evening.
Yeah, Sale, it's pretty amazing for a guy tall, lanky, all arms and legs, throws 100 miles an hour, that he has the command that he does. Walks just a little over 2 batters per 9 innings.
As much fun as we have had digging into this Red Sox lineup with the tremendous year that they are having, and there's first-year manager Alex Cora. You could do the same thing with Chris Sale. When you're having the kind of season that he is having, there are just so many numbers to look at, to dig into. You just mentioned that great walk rate. Strikeouts have been pretty unbelievable. There's the first one of the game at 98 miles an hour at the bottom of the zone. Delano DeShields is retired. Well, that'll bring us to our Kubota power stats this evening. We will take a look here at Chris Sale, and this is wins at age 29 or younger. This is among active pitchers. Rick Porcello's got 129 of those. Madison Bumgarner 106. But Chris Sale just picked up his 100th win. And you see that group, obviously a bunch of good young starting pitchers. Chris Sale's been pretty fantastic. Elvis Andrews steps in and swings and misses at a first pitch changeup at 88 miles per hour. As good as the fastball has been, the changeup has also been a weapon for Chris Sale. 209 batting average against this season. Now he comes back with a slider. And poor Elvis Andrews, geared up for 97, 98, hasn't seen a fastball yet.
Yeah, there's no way you could go to the plate batting second after watching the at-bat to Delano and not think you were going to get a fastball. Didn't throw him a changeup. He threw him 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. Wow. Red Sox had another stat that was pretty interesting. In his last 4 starts, he's the first pitcher in Major League history to have 4 straight starts with at least 11 strikeouts and 1 or 0 walks.
And there's a breaking ball, just misses at the bottom of the zone.
So in those 4 starts, 47 strikeouts and 4 walks in his last 4 starts. So it's been a great season, but in the last 4 starts over the last couple of weeks, he's been even better than he has been at any time so far this year.
Well, there is a fastball at 98, and better than 10-1 strikeout to walk ratio, as you were just mentioning. With the old days of trying to be 2-1, and then the really good guys were like 3-1, right? He's a guy at 3-1 strikeout walk ratio. That was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's changed with the strikeouts up in the game, and guys like Chris Sale and the run that he has been on lately. 2-2, and this one is grounded foul into the Ranger dugout. Well, check this out. This is all time. Randy Johnson has the record, 13.4 strikeouts per 9. Chris Sale, as this ball's hit just past Mitch Moreland. That should be a base hit for Elvis Andrews. He's going to take a big turn and actually go to second and coast into second base. It should be a 1-out double for Elvis Andrews.
Yeah, you can hit that same ball about 100 more times and Mitch is going to scoop it up and turn it into an out every time. Somehow that ball snuck underneath him. Elvis kind of sliced it that way, didn't hit it all that hard. You can see it slice off his bat. Looked like Mitch was going to be able to get to it. Well, he got to it. He just didn't catch it. Went underneath his glove. I mean, it's definitely a hit. It's not that he made an error on the play. It's just that he's so good over there, you expect him to make those plays.
So one out double for Elvis Andrus. Nomar Mazara will step in now against Sale. Nomar on the season, 248 against lefties, 277 against righties. I wonder if you almost throw that out, though. I mean, there's lefties and then there's Chris Sale.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's certain guys when they are legitimate aces with power stuff. I mean, looking at splits are certainly helpful at times.
Yeah, I don't think if you've got a left-hand hitter who we might say about him, boy, he's really been swinging the bat well against left-handed pitchers, that means a whole lot when he's facing Chris Sale. It's nice, but yeah, this is probably a whole different category.
And Elvis, ironically enough, has been struggling against lefties lately and hits that double as Nomar takes a pitch off the plate. Count 1-1. Now the splits for Chris Sale are pretty unbelievable, not surprising. Lefties hitting just 164 against him. Righties just 185, and so he has been dominant in that regard, and really no surprise that we've seen what he's done over these last couple of years, especially here with the Boston Red Sox, kind of taking it to a new level. He has always been very good. This is almost a newer version of Chris Sale. As Nomar fouls one off at 97 miles an hour.
And Nomar's had two good swings, high fastball and a good slider on the first pitch. He's fouled them both off. He hadn't done anything with them, but he wasn't fooled by him.
So Sale from the set ready to deliver his 1-2, and the breaking ball is swung on and missed, and Nomar Mazara goes down on strike. Second strikeout of the inning for Chris Sale. Just want to finish this off a little bit as Elvis Andrus rudely interrupted us with that double, but this is the strikeout per nine single season rate all time. Randy Johnson 13.4. That was with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pedro Martinez here with the Red Sox in 99, and then Chris Sale this year and last year. Last year that 12.93, that's third all time. And now Chris Sale this year, assuming that he stays healthy and qualifies for the season, could have the third and fourth highest strikeout rates of all time. Adrian Beltre now steps in with two outs, and Elvis Andrus on second base. He takes a changeup for a ball. So interesting to see the two right-handers that have just come up in Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrus, that they have seen first pitch changeups from Sale. Opposite of what the line of the Shield saw to lead off this game. And there's a backdoor breaking ball that catches the corner. Count even 1-1. '29-year-old Chris Sale, the ace here for the Boston Red Sox, and that's among some pretty good names that they have in the rotation. As we watch Adrian Beltre swing a one down below the zone. Of course, David Price, Rick Porcello in this rotation, but Sale has been the best of the group. That one misses way outside. Count even 2-2 now. Adrian Beltre in a little bit of a slump right now. 4 for his last 28. That's over the 7 games that he has played in so far this month. 143 average over that time. He was 0 for 4 last night with 3 strikeouts. Two from Sale, and it's a ground ball hit to the left side. Nunez has it over to first, and Mitch Moreland makes the catch, and the inning is over. So one hit, a double by Elvis Andrus, but he is stranded. We'll go to the bottom of the first when we get back here at Fenway Park. That'll bring the Red Sox to bat here in the bottom of the first. As you take a look outside Fenway Park, and you see Mookie Betts stepping in. He'll be leading off. Andrew Benintendi second, J.D. Martinez third, Mitch Moreland, Xander Bogaerts, Brock Holt, Eduardo Nunez, Sandy Leon, and then it's Jackie Bradley Jr. batting ninth. Here is 45-year-old Bartolo Colon's first pitch, and that one misses off the plate, ball one. There's a fastball on the corner at 87 miles per hour. This is the 18th appearance at Fenway Park for Bartolo Colon. As you take a look at the numbers for Mookie Betts, a tremendous season that he is having. He'll be starting in the outfield for the American League in the All-Star game. Of those 18 games, this is number 18 now. This is the 17th start for Bartolo at Fenway. He's 7-6 with a 3.74 ERA in this ballpark. He falls behind Mookie Betts now 3-1.
And obviously Bartolo knows what kind of a hitting team this is. He knows Mookie Betts has power, how many home runs he's hit leading off a ball game. So he's trying to be careful with him. He's trying to hit that outside corner.
This one is lined into left field. That'll get down for a base hit. Joey Gallo comes over, gets it in pretty quickly.
Pitching arsenal for Bartolo Colon. A lot of fastballs. Two-seamers 64% of the time. Four-seamers 16. That adds up to 80% of the time he's going to throw a fastball. He'll throw some changeups and sliders just to keep the hitters honest. Against the Tigers in his last start, he had a complete game. He lost 3-1 to Jordan Zimmerman. All the runs in that game scored on home runs. Complete game, 97 pitch effort. Really nice outing.
Bartolo Colon was cruising along in that game. Jordan Zimmerman was very good on the other side for the Detroit Tigers. That game, what, took 2 hours and 5 minutes. It was an absolute
It was fun to watch.
And there's an attempt to bunt by Andrew Benintendi, but that one will go foul.
Numbers from his last start. He was the oldest pitcher to lose a complete game since 1992, when Nolan Ryan did it for the Rangers. The oldest pitcher to throw a complete game since Jamie Moyer 8 years ago. Been very efficient with his pitch count, less than 15 pitches per inning, third best in the American League.
We brought up Nolan Ryan there. It's a little bit of an anniversary here. July 11th, 1985. Nolan Ryan recorded his 4,000th strikeout.
Wow. Ranger fans saw number 5,000, Ricky Henderson, back at the old ballpark. I remember that day one of the reporters said to him jokingly, "When do you think you'll get number 6,000? Ha 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 ha." And Nolan just stared at him like, "Well, you think that's funny?" And I can't remember what he ended up with, 6,600, 6,700, something like that. So he didn't quite get there, but the point was Nolan didn't think it was a joke.
Ground ball, Hart one back to Bartolo off his glove. Nice play by Jurickson Profar to recover, and that'll go 1-5-3 for the putout. Mookie Betts goes down to second.
Bartolo fields his position very well. He's in perfect fielding position when he lets go of the ball, and much more agile than you would expect a big guy to be. You can see him ready for that smash. He got his glove on it. If he was able to snare it, would have been able to turn a double play. As it is, he kept it from going up the middle, and they got one out anyway.
Good heads-up play by Jurickson Profar, and so it's Mookie Betts on second base with one out, and that'll bring up J.D. Martinez. We talked about that a little bit yesterday with the J.D. Martinez pre-pitch routine, the deep breath, eyes closed. It never works. He's having a monster season here in Boston, his first.
5,714 was the final total.
I mean, a lot closer to 6,000.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy was thinking that day.
It didn't really matter that he didn't get to 6,000. The point was, it wasn't 6,100 or 6,150, like whoever asked the question probably thought it was going to be. That's one thing he could never do, is set any kind of a limitation on what Nolan Ryan was accomplishing.
.10 from Bartolo Colon. Taken off the plate. Count now 2-0. It's time for our TXU Energy Power Player to watch, and that's going to be JD Martinez. Now, this is since the All-Star break last year, so essentially a calendar year in his ranks of the 153 games that he played. First across the board outside of batting average. Jose Altuve's got him there, but everything else, the big ones that matter, nobody has been better than JD Martinez over the past year. 2-0 is taken on the inside corner. Count now 2-1. Martinez did not like that call as he talks to home plate umpire Marvin Hudson about it.
Yeah, and if you're a player and you play a 162 game schedule and you don't get hurt and you're playing every day, you're going to play somewhere around 153 games. So that's one full season with 59 home runs and almost 150 RBIs.
This one is fouled off the leg of JD Martinez. Count now 2-2.
When Nolan came to the Rangers when he was 40, later on he would say he didn't really think he was going to throw another no-hitter, and he threw a couple of them for the Rangers. Got his 5,000th strikeout, won his 300th game. Seemed like there was a milestone going on every year. It was fun to watch him when he pitched at home. No matter when he gave up the first hit, whether it was the second inning or the 8th inning, if he gave up the first hit, there was a groan in the stands because the fans thoroughly believed every time he went out there they had a chance to see a no-hitter. And when you throw 8 of them, I guess fans are entitled to feel that way. Boy, that was close.
It certainly was. 89 miles an hour just off the corner. We know with Bartolo Colon that he pitches around the edges, lives around the edges, and he needs those calls, those close ones.
Definitely.
You bring him on over the plate, that's when he starts to run into a little bit of trouble, when he catches too much play with that fastball that he uses so often, as Tom showed you. 59% of the time, excuse me, 79% of the time he is throwing a fastball.
Yeah, in this ballpark against this team right now, you have to be able to get those pitches on the outside or inside corner.
And there is called strike 3 on the inside corner. That one looked like it had a little bit of a natural cut to it at 88 miles an hour. We don't really see Bartolo Colon throw a cutter.
That's exactly what it was. It came back and got the inside corner.
Oh, yeah, look at that grip.
Backdoor cutter. He's added a pitch. He had to dig down deep to get that one. I'm sure JD Martinez thought he was going to try to hit the outside corner again. And when you're looking out over the plate, that pitch probably looked like it wasn't even close to a strike, but the reality of it was a strike. What a great pitch.
So big strikeout for Bartolo Colon, but now he's got to deal with Mitch Moreland here with Mookie Betts still on second. There's a fastball at 91 miles an hour that just misses. All the called strikes are the strikes against JD Martinez in that at bat or on the inside part of the plate. There's the 1-0 to Moreland. That one off the plate. So Moreland in this spot, batting 4th in the lineup, has been very good this year for the Red Sox. He's hitting .285 on the season, but when he bats 4th this season, he's actually batting .339. So a good spot for him to hit in this lineup. There's the 2-0. That one just misses. You see Chirinos doing some work to try to bring that up, make it look like a strike. Marvin Hudson not calling it, and so now the count is 3-0. So it's interesting. We say, well, Bartolo Colon really doesn't throw a cutter. Some great information out there on the internet. Baseball Savant is fantastic. They have Bartolo having had thrown 9 cutters this year.
Wow.
But because it's basically less than 0.5%, we don't put it in the pitch arsenal because it doesn't register enough. So he has it.
Yeah,
He's thrown now 10 of those this year.
I don't think I've noticed it, though.
And J.D. Martinez is probably just surprised as anybody. If you're a guy that does your homework, you're not looking at a pitch that a guy throws 0.4% of the time.
Not in any situation.
Surprisingly
It
enough,
looked like it would be a pretty good pitch for him, though.
of the 10 he's thrown, he's actually registered 3 strikeouts on that pitch. That takes off, but this one is hit to dead center field. Delano DeShields is there. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. So just a 1 hit by Mookie Betts, and a nice job by Bartolo Colon to keep the Red Sox off the board. We're through 1 at Fenway. Massachusetts. Ruben Odor now stepping in against Chris Sale. Big home run for him last night, Tom.
Yeah, he hit that ball. First pitch fastball, 400, almost 450 feet. And down the walkway, probably would have gone 10 or 15 rows back. So it was hit a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. That was a long one.
See the numbers there. Longest home runs in the StatCast era. Third longest for Ruben Odor in his career as he chases a slider. He's quickly down in the count 0-1 to Chris Sale.
I'm surprised one of them wasn't the ball he hit in Houston into that second deck. Boy, he just missed that one. Got underneath it. When you pop up to left field in this park, you can really say you just missed it because you don't have to hit it very far. Good swing at that fastball.
So there is Jeff Bannister, the manager, of course, of the Texas Rangers. In between innings, he was having a conversation with home plate umpire Marvin Hudson. He looked a little bit upset. Now, not exactly sure what it was that they were talking about. I will tell you this, kind of watching, we were talking about J.D. Martinez, and this is pure speculation. We were talking about J.D. Martinez and how much time he's taking in between pitches. He steps out every time and goes through his routine and really slows Bartolo Colon down as Jurgen Profar steps in and takes a strike. Bartolo Colon is known for how quick he works. Right? He gets the ball and he goes. And whenever you have a pitcher that gets the ball and goes, you want to disrupt that rhythm a little bit. I'm not saying there was intent there. It seems like J.D. Martinez does that all the time. I wonder if that's what Banny was talking about. It's only I could think of.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what he would be talking about either.
Always a bad idea to guess, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's all I can come up with. I don't know what else he would be upset about as far as what happened in that inning.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's Marvin Hudson behind home plate. We'll have to
that's the
wait till after the game.
Age-old gamesmanship between the hitter and the pitcher. It's not just J.D. Martinez against Bartolo Colon. Whatever he was doing didn't work very well for him in that at-bat, though.
It did not. And Jeff Bannister walked away not too happy either as far as how that conversation ended. So whatever it was that he was talking about, Marvin Hudson was not giving him the answers that he wanted to hear. 1-2 now to Jurickson Profart. He stays inside this ball and hits a one-hopper to Mitch Moreland, who fields it cleanly, steps on the bag, and there are 2 outs here in the second. It is time for our T-Mobile Hats Off for Heroes. And we're going to talk about Chris Sale, who was involved in a pretty cool deal here last year. He was a member of the 2017 Carhart rotation. You see the guys at the bottom, Sale, DeGrom, Hernandez, Kluber, and Fulmer. And what Carhart did was they basically committed $100 per strikeout for each of those guys. And that helped raise over $100,000. So Chris Sale certainly happy to be a part of that. And nice job by Carhart as well. Robinson Chirinos now steps in with 2 outs in the top of the second. See the 14 RBIs over his last 11 games. Robbie has been swinging a much better bat as of late. And there is a base hit to left field. And so it continues for Robinson Chirinos with a 2-out base hit against Chris Sale.
Got a change up, and Robinson hit that to left field just like it was a fastball. Probably trying to throw that down and away a little bit more. Caught right pretty much the middle of the plate. And Robinson hit that ball hard. Sale's fortunate he didn't get that one up in the air. It was a good pitch to hit. Sale since 2012 has struck out 12 or more batters 32 times. The second most is Max Scherzer, 14 less than that. Scherzer, one of the most dominating pitchers, but when it comes to striking out 12 or more, Chris Sale's in a league of his own.
This will be a good matchup here. An interesting one. Power versus power. We know Joey Gallo, of course, has the tremendous home run power. Some swing and miss in his game as well. And there's a slider off the plate. And so good job by Joey to get ahead in the count 2-0. 102 miles an hour off the bat, by the way, for that base hit by Robinson Chirinos. Joey, there's a fastball at 99 miles an hour after a couple of changeups in the low 80s, right around 80. Joey Gallo sees 99 from that funky arm angle, left on left. My goodness.
Yeah, most of the game, especially recently, end of the game, 7th inning, when he's ready to come out, he's still throwing 99 or 100.
And there's a breaking ball swung on and missed below the zone, but Joey Gallo could not lay off of it. And so the count now is 2-0. I think one of the fascinating things watching Chris Sale, you just mentioned how well he holds his velocity, but also his body type. I mean, he is wiry. He's thin. He's 6'6", but he's listed at 180 pounds at 6'6".
He's slim.
It was where you look at him and you think, oh, there's got to break down, right? No, he's been an absolute workhorse over his career. 2-2 pitch, and a good job by Joey to lay off that slider. So the count goes full for Joey Gallo against Chris Sale.
Yeah, it's got to be very hard for a left-hand hitter to lay off the slider. Geared up in case he throws you the upper 90s fastball. Once you get ready to swing at that, it's hard to lay off it if it's a slider.
And the full count pitch, and there's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner. And Joey Gallo goes down looking, and so the inning is over. Just a base hit for the Rangers. It was Robinson Chirinos, but that was it. We go to the bottom of the second here at Fenway Park.
And the Red Sox, nothing. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation. Gallo, DeShields, Mazzara in the outfield. Profar gets the start at third. It's Rua at first, Andrus, Odor up the middle, and Chirinos behind the plate.
Xander Bogaerts will lead things off here for the Boston Red Sox in the bottom of the second. First pitch, fastball on the corner, called strike one. Bogaerts 277, 14 home runs, having a very nice year, 56 RBIs to go with that 865 OPS. And he looks at another pitch on the corner, count now 0-2. So it was 18 pitches for Bartolo Colon in the first. He has been extremely efficient so far this year. That is the fourth best rate in Major League Baseball.
And you might expect a little higher number in this game just because of the team he's pitching against and the ballpark he's pitching in. He'll be trying to be especially careful. Bogaerts had to swing at that last pitch. The first two were right in the same spot.
As a pitcher, you just can't have a mental letdown, right? You're constantly focusing on corners, feeling like you have to hit it, and these guys will wear you out just on that angle. And there's a ground ball hit up the middle past Elvis Andrus on the 0-2 pitch. So Xander Bogaerts with a leadoff single here in the second.
Didn't quite get that slider where he wanted it. It was away, but no balls and 2 strikes. Watch Chirinos' glove way down and away, and the ball didn't quite get there. That allowed Bogaerts to get the bat on it and find a hole with that ground ball.
It's almost as if Chirinos knew there was a chance that he wasn't going to sweep it enough, so he gave him that exaggerated.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a catcher go that far out, he's really trying to put it in the pitcher's head, get it all the way out here, and unfortunately Bartolo Colon could not, and it turns into a leadoff single. And so now Brock Holt will step in here against Bartolo. .295, 1 home run, and 22 RBIs for Holt, to ask his third base coach Carlos Febus to go through the signs one more time. Xander Bogaerts on first, and an attempted pickoff, and that ball ends up in the stands, and so Bogaerts will go down to second base.
Joey just couldn't reach. Ryan couldn't reach far enough to get around the base runner. Might have been an outside chance that Bogaerts could have gotten third base on that if it hit the wall and kicked out toward right field.
It's an error on Bartolo Colon because of the throw, so Bogaerts now down at second base, and Brock Holt, a left-handed hitter, doesn't show bunt in this spot. I don't understand why. Tom, right? You got that left-handed hitter against a strike throw in Bartolo Colon. Just the idea of trying to let him maybe pull the ball to the right side. Yeah,
Holt's a pretty good hitter. He knows how to handle the bat. He was an all-star back in 2015. On base percentage over 370, so he's a pretty good utility guy. Feel pretty good when he's in the lineup. You have to play him.
You're not a guy who strikes out very often. That's probably part of it as well. A 15.8 strikeout percentage this year. 22% is league average. So he's a guy that puts the ball in play. He also walks at a 10% rate, which is above league average. And there is a ground ball to the right side. That'll get Bogaerts over. Backhand by Rougned Odor, and Holt is retired, but he does his job as far as getting Bogaerts to third. So with one out and Bogaerts down at third base, Eduardo Nunez now will step in against Bartolo Colon.
You almost feel like you have to play the infield in now with Chris Sale on the mound. I don't know if Banny would play the infield in with nobody out, but with one out, he definitely will.
Infield drawn in, as you mentioned, Tom, here with Nunez at the plate. And there's a 88-mile-an-hour fastball that is fouled off. And Nunez is a guy who does not walk very often, so you know he's up there swinging, but he's also putting the ball in play. His strikeout rate is reasonable, but he's a heavy ground ball guy. 50% ground ball rate for him when he's putting the ball in play. And so that's probably a big part of the reason why they're also bringing in the infield in. He's a guy that hits some ground balls, and you play that infield back, you certainly don't want to concede the run. And so with the two-seam fastball of Bartolo Colon and a ground ball hitter in Nunez, you take your chances here in the second. And there is a two-seam fastball that misses, count even 1-1. Well, it's 256 overall for Nunez this season, but he's been very good here in July with 333 batting average, 7-4-21.
Let's take a look at the sac fly zone. StatCast powered by AWS. You can see the zone out there. If it's near the red, a much higher percentage for the outfielder to make the play at the plate. That's based on the outfielder's arm, the speed of the runner. If it's back near the dark green part of the line, much better chance if it's hit that deep for the runner to score. Anywhere in between is a varying degree of percentage.
Pretty fascinating to see how deep it was in left field with Joey Gallo's strong arm. Bartolo Colon misses with that fastball away, and that's a big indicator, right? You have, of course, the runner at third, but then the arms of the outfielders, and the deeper that zone is, that tells you the better arm that the outfielder has, and that was pretty deep as you see Joey Gallo out there in left field. And Nomar's thrown the ball very well this year in right field. And there's a 3-1, and this one is lifted in the air. It's shallow behind at second base. Rougned Odor chasing. He misses it, and it drops, and now nobody is at second base, and so Eduardo Nunez will go to second. A tough pop-up here for Rougned Odor that he cannot handle, and because of that, the Red Sox are on the board.
Well, pop-up becomes a little bit more difficult when you're playing that far in. Obviously, if you're back, it's a simple play. But when you have to run that far for it, generally when you start from your normal position, that's a ball that the outfielder can come in and field. But when you're that far in on the grass, even though you have to run that far to get it, the outfielders can't get to it either because it's not that far into the outfield. One of those in-between balls. Yankees lost a World Series on a pop-up like that to Arizona with the infield in. Little blooper. Fell in. That's one of the perils when you have the infield in, trying to cut the runner down at home plate, hope to get a ground ball, but that little kind of a pop-up can fall in. Roogie got there, just got turned around a little bit.
A tough play, no doubt, but it is ruled an error against Rougned Odor, so no RBI for Eduardo Nunez, who now stands at second base with Sandy Leon. And Leon takes a fastball on the corner called strike one. Now, on that play, the idea that Nunez got to second. We saw Elvis Andrus kind of behind the mound and maybe getting ready to play cutoff potentially for Rougned Odor. Not a play that happens very often, but is that one where he maybe should have been at second base, or maybe the pitcher Bartolo Colon should have been there?
Yeah, or maybe the third baseman. I couldn't really see where Elvis went on that play. He might have gone toward the ball.
Elvis Andrus. So first error for Rougned Odor in 40 games. They had a 40-game streak, so I guess we say in 41 games. He has been playing excellent defense, and you mentioned it. That is a tough pop-up. This sky, right, we're not close to getting dark just yet, and also running as far back as he did.
That wouldn't have been the third baseman because there was a man at second base. He had to stay where he was.
This one is lifted behind second base. Elvis Andrus is there. He makes the catch, and so it's 2 outs now here in the bottom of the second.
Let's take a look at it. You'll see where the infielders are. Take that back. There's a man on third base. Yeah, in this play, you see Elvis is coming in like he's going to be the cutoff man, but so is Ryan Rua. So I think you're right. I think Elvis could have gone to second on that play.
So Bartolo went and backed up the bag. It's kind of interesting, right? Because if you make the catch, yes, you should be backing up home, but it doesn't matter because there's not going to be anybody else on base if he goes. But Bartolo's got to be there, and he was. And so maybe that's on Elvis for not covering second. Or he might have thought that ball was going to be out there deeper and then had to be the cutoff man, right? That's the other part. So I think as the shortstop, you kind of get caught in between on that one.
Yeah, but I don't think the shortstop's the cutoff man on that, because Rua is right there as the cutoff man.
Yeah, strange play. Certainly one you don't see very often, and one that worked out in the Red Sox favor. So that is how that run has gotten across. And Jackie Bradley Jr. now up against Bartolo Colon with Nunez at second base. And this one is popped up left side. That'll reach the seats. And you think about all the plays and all the defensive work that teams do in spring training, and you try to practice all the scenarios. I wonder how many times you're actually practicing runner at third, infield in, shallow pop up to the outfield. I mean, just not one you probably cover very often. It's
probably not.
There's so many different things that you do. It really is amazing to think how something like that could come up and you may never have had to do it before. One count to Jackie Bradley Jr. here against Bartolo Colon. And this is off the plate. Bradley did not play in the first game, but he played last night against the Rangers, and he's got some struggles this year with the batting average, but he's been playing some excellent center field. Stole a base hit from Ronald Guzman in last night's ball game. He had a couple of doubles in that game to go along with 2 RBIs. Here's a ground ball up the middle, and what a play by Bartolo Colon, robbing Jackie Bradley Jr. of a base hit, and so the inning is over. Tremendous play there by Bartolo Colon, and there is Ryan Rua. He will lead things off when we get back here in Boston.
Ryan Rua will lead off the bottom of the top of the third. And in an earlier game this season, back on May 6th, the only run against Chris Sale came on Ryan Rua's home run. Had a line drive to right field. Now, if he hits that same line drive in this ballpark, it might short hop the wall for a double. A little bit deeper here than it is in Texas.
It's certainly a difficult thing to do against Chris Sale multiple times as he takes a breaking ball in there for a strike. And so Ryan Rua down in the count 0-2. 4 home runs overall for Ryan in 45 games this year. And there's a breaking ball down and in. It's 3 pitches and a strikeout for Chris Sale.
Yeah, the Rangers had a player that owned Chris Sale. Adam Rosales.
That's right.
I'm not sure how many. He had 2 home runs in a game against him in Chicago one time. Not sure how many other home runs, but I know he had tremendous success against Chris Sale, which is very unusual. Adam Rosales was the one that got around the bases on a regular home run about the same way most people would on an inside the park home run. He sprinted around the bases. He was a great guy, utility player for the Rangers. Got a chance to play quite a bit one year. He was upbeat, positive, happy, and he played hard every second he was on the field. A great guy.
It's always kind of the obscure guys too every once in a while, right? And you're saying, and everyone else is asking that guy, hey, how do you hit Chris Sale?
Yeah.
Adam Rosales, 3 home runs against Chris Sale in his career, 7 for 20, 350 batting average with an OPS over 1,000.
That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you can check this or not, I'm pretty sure 2 of them came in Chicago one day. Might be wrong on that.
And this is maybe just as equally as amazing. The guy with the most hits off of Chris Sale, Alcides Escobar.
Wow.
25 of those. Victor Martinez has got 22. Martinez is one of 4 players to hit 4 home runs off of Chris Sale. And not surprising that it's somebody in the American League Central as Mitch Moreland chases this one in. He's able to make the catch there on the track. Let's throw it back to studio for our first Chevy game break and say good evening to Dana Larson. A lot of talk surrounding Washington. We've talked about it a little bit, and things certainly not going exactly as most of us thought in that National League East, as we see Elvis Andrus stepping in against Chris Sale. Elvis hit that double back in the first inning, that ground ball that was just out of the reach of Mitch Moreland. Elvis fouls one back, and the count now 1-1. So I mentioned 4 players that have 4 home runs against Chris Sale. Victor Martinez makes some sense. Miguel Cabrera, sure, that makes some sense. Josh Donaldson, he's a pretty good hitter. But the other one, Ryan Rayburn, 4 home runs against Chris Sale in his career. And he's actually hit him extremely well. 306 batting average with an OPS over 1100.
Well, you know, he doesn't have a 0 ERA, so it stands to reason, statistically speaking, that someone had to do something against him, I guess.
The guy that he...
But yeah, you're right. I wouldn't pick Adam Rosales or Ryan Rayburn.
And the guy that he's had most success against, at least with strikeouts, he has punched out Alex Gordon 23 times in his career.
Wow. And that makes sense because they're both in the Central Division. Chris Sale was in the Central Division for quite a while. Had a lot of at-bats against him.
A 2-2 count to Elvis Andrus. So far this inning, Ryan Rua struck out on 3 pitches. Delano DeShields popped out in foul territory to first, but Elvis lifts one down the left field line, hooking foul as it goes into that sweet level.
He hung a slider that time. Elvis was just a little bit out in front of it. Looked like he had the distance.
Good fan. Looked like he's finding a kid to give it up to. That's the part that's so difficult, right, Tom? Trying to stay back, even when he hangs one because of the speed differential.
Yeah, and you know, in 2 balls, 2 strikes, when you've got 2 strikes, you can't look for an off-speed pitch, so you just hope you can make an adjustment. Elvis made a pretty good adjustment. Just a hair too quick.
And 2-2 is a changeup that is lifted to shallow center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. is there, and so is an easy catch and an easy inning for Chris Sale. We are through 2.5. The Red Sox are leading the Rangers 1-0. bottom of the third inning. Let's get to our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. And this is Major League wins by foreign-born pitchers. There's Bert Blyleven with his 287. Bartolo Colon tied with Dennis Martinez for third all-time and trying to move into third all by himself. And then also going to be first among Latin-born pitchers. 245 wins for Big Bartolo Colon. Mookie Betts steps in for the second time tonight. Betts had that base hit, was stranded at second base. Back in the first inning. Great numbers for Betts, 349, 22 home runs on the season. Looks at that slider and the count now 2-1.
Bartolo,
Sorry,
CJ.
No, go ahead. Nothing important, that's for sure.
I was just going to say that Bartolo's doing exactly what he has to in this game, and that's trying to hit the outside corner frequently, but throwing enough of them inside to keep the hitters from leaning out over the plate. That's how he got the strikeout of J.D. Martinez, what he just did with Mookie Betts right there. I think the hardest combination of pitches for a hitter is when you go from one corner to the other, more so than up and down.
Yeah, pretty hard to believe if I told you he was going to strike out one guy after he went through the order one time. I don't know if J.D. Martinez is the guy that I would have picked. He might have been one of the last guys that I picked, but it was a nice job by Bartolo.
Yeah, he probably made his best pitch of the day on that strikeout pitch.
Well, full count to Mookie Betts. With that base hit, he has tied his season-high hitting streak of 9 games. He is now 14 for his last 36 with a couple of home runs and 4 doubles. And that one misses on the outside corner, and so it's a leadoff walk for Betts. First of the night for Bartolo. Well, fans, you have an opportunity to take home a little bit of snow on Friday, July 20th. That's when the Rangers will be taking on the Cleveland Indians, and the first 15,000 fans get a celebration snow globe courtesy of Powerade and Kroger. Make sure you get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So now Andrew Benintendi steps in here against Bartolo Colon. Certainly got to keep an eye on Mookie Betts with the year that he is having. Not only is he hitting well, but he is running well. 16 of 18 in stolen base attempts so far this season. And this will make for an interesting matchup because Bartolo Colon right now is second in all of Major League Baseball for the most innings without allowing a stolen base. Corey Kluber leading the field by quite a bit with his 126 in third innings. Betts is staying put. This one is lined to left field. That'll be a base hit for Benintendi. And so runners at first and second with nobody out here for the Red Sox.
I don't think Benintendi can hit a line drive any harder than that to left field. Slicing line drive past the shortstop. About a perfect swing. The ball, you can see it tailing away on the outside corner. Benintendi does the Adrian Beltre on one knee to go down and get the barrel of the bat on that one and hit it to left field.
97 miles an hour off the bat. Only a 90% hit probability. I'm not sure in what scenario that would ever be an out unless you were playing the outfield in, I guess.
Shaq's playing shortstop.
Well, Martinez now steps in. We mentioned that strikeout back in the first inning, and a nice job by Bartolo Colon, who used the cutter, a pitch that he has thrown just 10 times this entire season, but he has has registered 3 strikeouts now on the cutter of the 10 that he has thrown. So very interesting pitch there for Bartolo. And you mentioned how good it was. I just wonder if that's something that will maybe become a little bit more prevalent in the repertoire.
I would think with the success against that type of a hitter with that same pitch, he would probably try to throw it more often.
Here's a ground ball hit to Elvis Andrus. Flips to Odor over to first, and it is a 6-4-3 double play. And so Bartolo Colon, through 2 at-bats, has done an excellent job against the slugger and the all-star J.D. Martinez.
Yeah, and you know, the Red Sox, the thing you worry about the Red Sox is that they're going to have a big inning. And when you can make that pitch, that was a 2-seam fastball that came back and just barely caught the outside corner. I think a lot of times a hitter's going to take that, think it's outside. Fortunately, Martinez swung at it, hit it right off the end of the bat, tried to pull it, turned into an easy double play.
91st double play that the Rangers have turned this year. They came into tonight 4th in the game as far as the most double plays turned. And so with 2 outs and a runner at third base, Bartolo Colon will now face Mitch Moreland. Moreland flew out to center field in his first at bat. Overall numbers of 284 with 11 home runs, 868 OPS for the first time All-Star Mitch Moreland will be this year. There's a pitch that just misses, and you see Robinson Chirinos holding it there. He thought that was a strike, Tom.
Let's take a look at it. We'll be able to tell. Maybe a little bit inside. Good try, though.
So Moreland now ahead in the count, 2-0 against Bartolo Colon. A leadoff walk to Mookie Betts, a base hit by Andrew Benintendi. And J.D. Martinez grounded into the 6-4-3 double play. There's a 2-0, and that one just misses top of the zone. Changeup from Bartolo, and so the count now 3-0.
That's a lot closer to the strike zone than it looked.
It's a good example, though, those 3 pitches of how Bartolo's trying to work the edges he knows, and rarely will you even see him give in a spot like this. Runner at third base, 3-0 count. You always see him throw the ball down the middle, and he misses downstairs.
Yeah, I think he's guarding every pitch, knowing that against Chris Sale, Red Sox already have 1 run. He just doesn't feel like he can afford to give up another. He's going to be bearing down on every pitch. Not that he doesn't bear down on every pitch anyway, but maybe even at a higher level for this game.
I know he's right-handed, so maybe the comp isn't perfect. We saw Tom Glavine all those years. We always kind of looked at him as a guy that just refused to give in. Right, lived on the edges. That's where he had to pitch. He knew he had to pitch here, and if he had to walk a guy in the meantime, so be it. Now Bartolo's been excellent this season with his walk rate. Just 1.4 walks per 9 this season. League average is just over 3. But at the same time, and falls behind a guy, he's not afraid to do it. There's a fake break from Mitch Moreland. That was interesting. I never really knew the strategy, Tom, behind the fake break from a runner at first base, and talked to Jeff Bannister about that last year, because Mike Napoli would do it quite a bit. And say they try to guess along on when you may see an off-speed pitch. The idea then would get the catcher, maybe he would come out of his crouch and you could get a wild pitch, or maybe get him to miss it because he was trying to jump out of his crouch too quick because of the run, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
And they guessed right, because there was a ball that was down on the previous pitch. Now Bartolo Colon throws nearly 80% fastball, so you're just trying to guess along on when he may throw something down, especially a breaking ball. It's not going to happen too often, but I thought that was a pretty interesting strategy. If you can get a catcher to come out of his crouch, quite possibly you can almost not force him, but get him to miss that ball and either get a pass ball or a wild pitch. Now here's the 1-1. That one misses way outside, so the count now 2-1 to Xander Bogaerts. Bogaerts had that base hit. He went to second base on the error from Bartolo Colon, and then eventually scored on that pop-up. The E4 off the bat of Eduardo Nunez. So it was a couple of errors that got that run across for the Red Sox. The only one scored so far this evening. 2-1. Here's a ground ball hit to the left side. Jurickson Profar has it easily, throws over to first, and the Red Sox are retired. So a couple of walks, but no runs across the board. We are through 3. The Rangers still trailing by 1. a 1-0 lead. Well, Wednesday, July 25th, the Rangers will be playing the Oakland Athletics, and that is our next Texas Chili Company $1 hot dog night. Get your tickets at texasrangers.com, or you can always call 972-RANGERS. And you can kind of get your Joey Chestnut on. Go for it. It'll only cost you about, what, $74 to try to break the record. I mean, I don't think you could do that throughout an entire game. Forget about trying to do it in 10 minutes. And it is not recommended by the Texas Rangers TV booth to try. So make sure we get that liability out of the way.
Yeah, I don't think if I was going to try to set that record, I'd be the one paying for the hot dogs. Someone would at least have to buy me the hot dogs.
I mean, I honestly don't know if I could do that in 3 days.
No.
I'm sick to my stomach.
No, after a while, you just can't eat another one.
No more
I'd like to know what competitive eaters, what their stomachs look like and what their health is like. Does it affect your health when you binge eat like that?
You would think so.
Especially the guys that are in the jalapeno eating contest. That's got to be tearing you up.
And how do you learn that about yourself? At what point do you realize, you know what, I may have a future here? Like I said, at home, and your mom's like, what are you trying to be in an eating contest? And then the light bulb goes off.
Well, there's got to be something about his digestive system and his stomach that's different than everybody else. Because, most people, you could try to eat like that and get in shape to eat like that and prepare to do it. You still couldn't come close to doing that. It's got to be something weird going on in his stomach.
I would agree. And I don't know if I necessarily want to know.
He's not a big guy. He's not a big guy. There can only be so much room in there.
You would think. Physically just doesn't really add up. But he is the champion. As you take a look at the foot-long Franks they have here at Fenway Park. Is Fenway known for their hot dogs the way that Yankee Stadium kind of is? Obviously, Dodger dogs.
I don't know.
I've never heard anything about Fenway Park dogs as a ground ball hit to the right side. Brock Holt fields it cleanly over to first, and Nomar Mazara is retired here in the fourth.
It's just an age-old fact that the same hot dog that tastes great in a ballpark might be a hot dog you wouldn't even eat if someone gave it to you at home. But there's something about it, eating at the ballpark makes them taste better.
Fenway Franks. And at least they have the picture right with the mustard. Or is the right way to go?
If I'm going down to the concession stand here for anything like that, I'm getting the lobster roll.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to pay up and get the lobster roll.
Now, with a good item like that, which obviously this part of the country is known for, do you think you still get the high quality one at the ballpark? They're certainly not going to undercharge you at the ballpark for the.
No, you can see the
lobster roll. There it is,
right there.
Market price at the ballpark.
It's probably I think it's probably about $22, which is about what you pay in a restaurant. But I've had one here and they're good.
Yeah.
The thing that makes a lobster roll or ruins a lobster roll is the roll. If you get a bad roll, it doesn't matter. It's going to taste lousy. But if you get a great roll, like toasted on both sides, then they're really good.
It's like the cheesesteak, right? I mean, the bread makes it.
Yeah.
Or the bread could absolutely ruin it.
Yeah.
And Adrian Beltre laces one to left field. This one is going to reach the green monster. It'll be a base hit for Beltre, but a rocket of a base hit off of Chris Sale. And so the Rangers have a runner on here now in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, in this ballpark, it's such a waste of an extra base hit to hit a line drive over the left fielder's head. Benintendi doesn't even hurry to get this ball. And of course, Adrian's not running like he did 10 years ago either. But Benintendi just any trip coming out of the box. Benintendi didn't know that though. Watch how casually Benintendi gets this ball. Just picks it up, takes his time.
And
he's got a short. Yeah, he knows the runner, knows the field, knows how far it is, which is not very far to second base.
So Rougned Odor steps in, swings and misses at the first offering from Chris Sale. 103 miles an hour. Adrian Beltre hit that slider from Sale and then went a projected 330 feet for a single. The one from Sale swung on and missed at 99 miles an hour. Well, that base hit, Tom, as Adrian Beltre continues to move up the list. He is now just 3 shy of Alex Rodriguez, who was holding on to the number 19 spot.
Well, he's got a pretty good chance of moving up past Paul Werner as well. Stays healthy and plays through the end of the season. pretty good shot of going by that.
Here's the 0-2, and that breaking ball catches the inside corner, and so Rougned Odor is down on 3 pitches, and it's 2 outs here in the 4th with Adrian Beltre at first. 5 strikeouts now for Chris Sale. Let's take a look at our Progressive upcoming schedule. Well, a day off tomorrow for the Rangers. They'll head to Baltimore after the game tonight, and then it's a 3-game set right before the All-Star break, and then a homestand. Finally a homestand. It's been a while. That'll be the 20th, a 7-game homestand, 3 against the Cleveland Indians, 4 against the Oakland A's before we head down to Houston to finish up the season series with them. And here's a ground ball hit up the middle by Jurickson Profar. Bogarts is there. He flips it to second, and the inning is over. And so a base hit, a strikeout, and that has been about it. And there they are. They can be yours inside some wonderful soft bread. Market price. Look at those flippers. A legendary lager for legendary moments. Ranger fans, this Bud's for you. And we are back here at Fenway Park. Bartolo Colon out for his 4th inning of work. It's been a good night for Bartolo. It's the 1 run, but it is a run that is unearned. A couple of errors in that 2nd inning when the Red Sox scored as Brock Holt now steps in. Talking about that pitch count a little bit earlier for Bartolo Colon. 56 pitches coming into this inning in the 3 innings of work, so certainly a little bit higher than he would want and what he has been doing this year, averaging just under 15 pitches per inning.
And I think if it was going to be a game where he would be higher than he normally is, this would be the game in this ballpark against the Red Sox.
And the 2-1 is grounded right to Elvis Andrus. Makes a nice play over to Ryan Rua, and Brock Holt is retired. So have a little fun here. It's always fun with Bartolo Colon. When you've played as long as he has, you can look at some of these numbers. They really start to add up. And Jack Morris is headed to the Hall of Fame this summer. And Bartolo Colon, you start putting these 2 guys side by side. Now, certainly Bartolo has the higher ERA, but higher strikeout rate, a little bit surprising. Better walkout rate. Walk rate. He's hit more home runs than Jack Morris. I mean, that alone should separate him. But the wins, 245 to 254. If Bartolo gets to 250, it would be pretty hard for him to get that ERA under 4. It takes so much at this point. If he had, you know, that 3.95 ERA with, say, 255 wins, he'd be right there with Jack Morris. And Jack Morris was always the guy as this ball is grounded right to Elvis Andrus. And Jack Morris was always a guy that was on the fence, right? He was one of the guys that people always like to argue about. Now, he had the big postseasons.
Postseason sure helped him.
That's the one. I say it in jest a little bit when I ask the guys to put that graphic together. But win totals are going down. And as time passes, whatever he finishes at, 250 wins are going to look like a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know that he's a front runner to go to the Hall of Fame, but when you put those numbers up there, he certainly has to be at least someone that gets in the conversation, and he deserves it.
I guess the question becomes, at what age will he throw his last pitch? I mean, will he go into his upper 40s? He's 45 years old. He's not just a serviceable starter. He's even a little bit more than that. And you think at times where the Rangers were struggling in the consistency that he has brought to this rotation, it's really fascinating to watch. Just over a 4.5 ERA coming into this one.
Well, he's not a guy getting old and you have to worry about him getting heavy.
That ship has sailed.
He doesn't look like the kind of guy that is going to get hurt by pulling a muscle, or he already would have on one of the balls where he's had to cover first base. He's not a guy that depends on velocity. He can get you out from anywhere from 82 to 89. So to answer your question, I don't know. As long as there's an opportunity, looks like the end is not that close in sight. Who knows?
Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed, and a very smooth 1-2-3 inning for the potential future Hall of Famer in Bartolo Colon.
Well, Bartolo Colon is through 4. He's only given up 1 unearned run, and he struck out a couple, including Sandy Leon in the 4th inning.
Through 4 innings as we head now to the top of the 5th, and Robinson Chirinos will be stepping in here against Chris Sale. And Chirinos had a bullet base hit in the 1st inning, excuse me, 2nd inning. One of 3 Ranger hits so far this evening against the ace of the Boston Red Sox. There's the first pitch breaking ball at 77 miles per hour. That's the other part. Not only is the Chris Sale breaking ball a really good one, but the speed differential and what he can do with that pitch, even within the breaking ball. You saw that one at 77. There have been some that have been in the low 80s, so he knows how to go plus and minus even on his breaking ball. There's the overall speed range, 71 to 99. That 97-mile-an-hour fastball misses, and so Chirinos is ahead in the count, 2-1. was a big night for Robinson Chirinos on Monday. He had his 3rd career triple. Certainly the right place to do it. It's the first one that he has had this year. And coming into this one, he had gone 11 for his last 40. So make it 12 for his last 41. And he draws a walk. And how about Chris Sale going to a 3-1 slider to Robinson Chirinos? A little respect for the Rangers catcher.
He's throwing a lot of strikes tonight. He was right around 70% until he walked Chirinos. He probably feels tonight like he can throw his fastball or his breaking ball for a strike. He's in a 1-0 game. He knows Robinson has some power. Ripped one to left field the last time. You want to throw a fastball that he could hit.
That was the first walk of the evening for Chris Sale. He has 5 strikeouts in his 4+ innings, and Joey Gallo squares the bunt but pulls back and watches that 97-mile-an-hour fastball miss the zone. That one misses. Good call there off the plate. So this is what Joey Gallo has done lately. This is his last 12 games. You'd love to see the high on base percentage, 356. The swings and misses are going to be there. 14 strikeouts at 10 walks, but he scored 8 runs as well. That's a ratio you can live with Joey Gallo. And so he's done a good job working hard at plate discipline. We talk about it all the time, strike zone discipline. And a really good take on the 2-0 pitch as he chases that one and fouls it off 2-1.
Hey, he's walked 44 times. That's 8th in the league in walks. And if you're going to have strikeouts on your resume and your batting average is going to be a little bit low, you can get by if you can hit home runs and walk. Keep your on-base percentage respectable.
Gallo struck out in his first plate appearance against Chris Sale. There's a fastball swung on a miss at 99. I was kind of wondering this after watching Joey swing at that 2-0 pitch, Tom. When you're facing a guy like this, is it possible that some guys would take the approach of maybe split the plate in half, only look for one side or the other as opposed to maybe sitting on a fastball over a slider? I mean, to try to cover both parts of the plate, I have to be, imagine it's pretty tough against a guy like Sale.
Yeah. You know, when it's 2-0, you can afford to do that, but the guy throws so many strikes. It's tough.
Well, Gallo didn't like that call. It registered 100 miles an hour, and look, it was pretty close. I thought maybe just off, but at 100, pretty tough to see when you're standing there at the plate. Well, fans, you can host your next group or a company outing of 20 or more at a Rangers game. Add on picnic areas, meal deals, or other experiences to make your group outing more memorable. Make sure you visit TexasRangers.com/groups.
I think when you're heading the count against any pitcher, you know where the pitch that you like is, that you can drive. And for some people, it might be out over the plate, some's down, some up, some in, wherever it is. When you're heading the count 2-0, I think you do focus and zero in on that particular pitch. And if you get it, you have to be ready for it and not miss it. And if you don't, then you can afford to take it because the count only goes to 2-1, or if it's 3-1, it might go to 3-2. You still have another shot at it. So in those counts, it does make sense to try to zero in on one particular location until you have 2 strikes and you have to be ready for anything.
That fastball misses up and away. Tom, this was a pretty impressive pitch from Chris Sale against Joey Gallo.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the hitter, say, come on, guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. No in the world Ted Williams couldn't hit that pitch. And I'll guarantee if Ted Williams took that pitch and they called it a strike, he would have been complaining too.
There's the 1-2, and it's 99 miles an hour in a very similar location down and into Ryan Rua. So he strikes out for the second time tonight, and that is strikeout number 7 for Chris Sale.
Well, the pitches that he's throwing and the velocity, that's the exact same pitch, only to a right-hand hitter. I mean, if he's even throwing these pitches right down the middle at 100 miles an hour with a breaking ball he's got, it's still hard. But then you combine the location and the fact that he's getting those calls on the corners. They're borderline pitches. They could go either way. The last 2 pitches were in the exact same spot, the 2 strikeout pitches.
So Delino DeShields will step in for the third time this evening against Chris Sale. He struck out in the first, and he popped out 2 firsts in the third inning. 213 overall for Delino this season. Robinson Chirino still leading off of first base. He led this inning off with a walk. There is a slider right down the middle. So the count now 0-2. That is 7 0-2 counts for Chris Sale this evening. And the 0-2 swung on and foul back at 99 miles per hour. The velocity has been good, especially this inning for Chris Sale. You see him now with that pitch count in the 80s.
Mentioned before the game started, Sale's working on a 4-game streak where he's had at least 11 strikeouts and no more than 1 walk. So he's got the 1 walk, but he's going to have to get a pretty good strikeout rate going from here to the 7th inning to get up to 11 strikeouts.
Here's the 0-2, and Delino rips this one to right field, but it'll be foul. Well foul. I got a little fooled by that one. The count remains 0-2, so a couple of tough pitches that Delino is fouled off here against Chris Sale. You see it there, 7 strikeouts. Maybe as impressive as how many of those have been looking so far this evening. 5 of the 7 have been looking, to give you an idea how difficult it has been to pick up Chris Sale this evening.
Most of those 5 you almost couldn't swing at him. They were such great pitches.
Well, there's a slider down and in, and so Delino DeShields goes down on strikes. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Chris Sale, and 8 on the night through 5 against the Rangers. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the All-Star final vote is in, and there are your winners. Gene Segura in the American League, Jesus Aguilar in the National League, and so at least that argument can be put to rest as Bartolo Colon now steps in here, or I should say Jackie Bradley Jr. He lifts a lazy fly ball to right field, and Nomar Mazara is there. Tom, we covered the All-Star stuff a little bit and kind of talked about snubs and guys that got cheated. I got to tell you, I don't know, I'm just getting old and cranky or what's going on with me these days, but these arguments, and there's a lot of complaining and whining about All-Stars and how people got this wrong and that wrong, and I just kind of rolled my eyes and yawn at it a little bit. I don't know, I don't find myself getting worked up about who goes to the All-Star game and who doesn't.
No, I guess it means a lot if you're one of the players that could go to the All-Star game. But every year it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be a handful, 7 or 8 guys that are right on the borderline of making the All-Star team. And in a lot of cases, it comes down to every team has to have at least one person represent that team on the All-Star team. So sometimes a team doesn't have a good candidate, but they have to put someone on the All-Star team. And so that can affect certain guys not making the All-Star team, and it has this year when you look at some of the guys that didn't make it. Hard to argue with those guys that are on the team right there, though.
Whew. That'll be a lot of fun to try to pitch against that one, although watching guys like Max Scherzer go up against the best in the American League in those situations, those are certainly fun. There will always be some guys that probably deserve to be on that don't make it. It's just only so much room.
And the other thing that came into play this year with the shortstops is how many excellent shortstops there are who are all having excellent seasons. There's only room for so many of them. There's a number of starting pitchers, more than 5 or 6, but probably 10 starting pitchers that deserve to be on the All-Star team. There just wasn't room for all of them.
You remember that era where it seemed like it was an absolute fight for American League first baseman.
Yeah.
That position used to run so deep. That's changed quite a bit. The shortstop position, as you mentioned, is deep again. As you see a ground ball to the left side, and that is going to make it into the outfield, and it's a ground ball base hit with 1 out here for Mookie Betts. So we just showed you those American League starters. How about here on the National League side? The one that just makes me smile the most is Matt Kemp. It's just unbelievable to think what happened with him this past offseason. He was traded from the Atlanta Braves back over to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and at the time, across the board, pundits, everybody saying he's probably not even going to put on a Dodger uniform. Yeah. It was a procedural move, and here he is. Not only did he end up staying on that team, he's been an all-star, but a huge impact on the Los Angeles Dodgers as well. It's a good story for baseball. And here's a line shot to left field, and so Andrew Benintendi and Mookie Betts go back-to-back with a couple of singles here against Bartolo Colon.
Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines player breakdown and check out the 2 at-bats, Bartolo Colon versus J.D. Martinez. A cut fastball right on the inside corner gets him for strike 3. That was in the first inning. Then at a big point in the game in his next at-bat, he threw the same pitch on the outside corner, came back, just touched the outside corner. Martinez hit it off the end of the bat. Rangers turned it for a double play. So Martinez, the best power hitter in baseball, also a guy hitting over 330, has been stymied so far by Bartolo Colon.
3 runners have been on base when he has come up. Make it 5 now for J.D. Martinez, and a couple of really good at-bats, as you mentioned. Nice job by Bartolo Colon. And you were mentioning this earlier, just how these guys are so difficult on opposing pitchers. You're facing a lineup that runs deep, that you know that they can do damage at any moment. And I think for most pitchers, you're grinding, you're getting tired. And Bartolo Colon, mentally tired, I think, in these spots. But Bartolo Colon, we talk about this all the time, you can never tell if he's mentally tired or if he's grinding, because he looks exactly the same all the time. But this is a big one, and to try to do it again for a 3rd time against one of the best hitters in the American League is certainly no easy task.
Mookie Betts extended his hit streak to 9. Andrew Benintendi has now had multiple hits in 6 straight games.
And here's the 1-0 from Bartolo to J.D. Martinez. That one misses way outside. Count now 2-0. .75 pitches for Bartolo so far through 4 1/3. And as good as J.D. Martinez has been this year, he hasn't offered at very many 2-0 pitches. He's only put the ball in play 7 times this year on this count, and he swings at that one, and he hits a ground ball down the left field line. That'll go into the corner. Betts will score easily. Benintendi is coming around third. There will be no throw, and so it is a 2 RBI, 1 out double for J.D. Martinez as the Boston Red Sox now take a 3-0 lead.
Well, if Betts and Benintendi, in the streaks they're in right now, it's almost every time J.D. Martinez comes up to the plate, he's got fast runners in scoring position. Many times a couple of men on base, and he's cashing in. It's one thing to have him there. It's another thing to be hitting .330 with 28 home runs.
And I found that to be an interesting number, and then to see him swing in that spot, because that's part of your preparation. And you look at a guy like J.D. Martinez, and they will look at how often he is offered at 2-0 pitches, and it just hasn't been very much this year. That is just the 8th time in which he has put the ball in play on a 2-0 count. Now he's 6 for 8 in those spots now, and he's done an excellent job, but he is a guy that has been extremely patient. And now this one is ripped down the right field line, but I want to go foul into the upper deck. See the numbers there for Mitch Moreland. 284 on the year. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He had a walk back in the 3rd inning. Pitch is on the corner, so the count now 0-2. The Boston Red Sox this season with runners in scoring position, 290 coming into tonight. That leads all of Major League Baseball, as does their on-base percentage and slugging percentage in these spots. They are just 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position this evening. That J.D. Martinez double was the first hit that they had tonight with the runner in scoring position. And the 0-2 is right on the corner, and what a beautiful pitch from Bartolo Colon to strike out Mitch Moreland.
He made 2 great pitches. It looked like the one before it might have been the cutter that caught the outside corner. That's the 2-seam fastball. Look at them, both of them, right on the corner. You see the movement. You see the catcher holding the ball right there for the umpire. See the hitter eyeballing it all the way. Mitch thought it was a ball. Umpire thought it was a strike. And our Fox tracks, there's the cutter that just caught the corner of the strike zone. Both of them just barely touched the strike zone. 2 perfect pitches.
So 11 total strikeouts in this game tonight between both starters. 7 of those have come looking. Pretty high number as you see Xander Bogaerts take a first pitch strike right down the middle.
Yeah. It's probably one thing you're not ready for against Bartolo Colon is a pitch right down the middle. Definitely not looking for one there. He might get one there by mistake.
Pitch number 81 of the night coming up for Bartolo Colon. And it's a slider that is off the plate. Count even 1-1 to Xander Bogaerts. So we mentioned again with this lineup and how Bartolo Colon was going to have to be a little bit more careful, as you see the pitch count by inning for him. And that 4th inning was a good one where he threw just 10 pitches. The Red Sox hitters have made him work in each of the other innings. But Bartolo this year has thrown 67% strikes. Tonight against the Red Sox, he's 10% lower, 57% strikes. So trying to live on the edges and missing a little bit more tonight has Bartolo Colon. There's a good example of one that just misses off the plate. And so it's 2-1 against Xander Bogaerts. Chris Sale on the other side of things this season, 68% strikes. That is well above league average. And tonight, just a tick above, he has thrown 69% strikes. And the 2-1 to Bogaerts is grounded foul left side. Xander Bogaerts had a couple of RBIs last night. He did hit his first triple of the season, one of 12 that he now has in his career. And on Monday, he was named American League Player of the Week. He's now 8 for 22 over his last 7 games, including tonight. calling for the fastball up above the zone. No, he wanted the slider down and away, and this one is blooped to center field. Here comes Delino DeShields and Joey Gallo, and they both collide, and the ball drops. And now Delino will go chase it, and Xander Bogaerts will slide in with a triple, his second of the season. It wasn't hit hard, but it was looped in a really difficult spot, and Joey Gallo and Delino DeShields both going after that ball, but neither one of them could come up with it.
It looked like if Delino was by himself out there, he might have been able to get to it, but it's one of those balls that's very difficult to call for. Delino wasn't calling for it. I don't think he was sure if he could get to it or not. I think he would have gotten there and had a chance to make the play, but he has to shy away, and rightfully so, when someone 6'5", 250 pounds is barreling right at you. That was just one of those balls hit right square between them.
Tough break there for the Rangers, as you see Joey Gallo feeling out that right knee. And you're right, we saw Delino DeShields at the very last second just kind of pull that arm back, and as you mentioned, understandably so, with a big man like Joey Gallo.
It's too bad. Bartolo made a great pitch. Bogaerts had to reach for it, didn't hit it hard. Worked out for him that he didn't hit it hard. If he hit it harder, it would have been an easier play.
An RBI triple for Xander Bogaerts. Here's the 0-1 to Brock Holt, and that one is taken on the inside corner, so the count now 0-2. It was last year where we saw Matt Bush and Joey Gallo have that little bit of a collision. That was at third base when Joey was playing some third, filling in for Adrian Beltre. And the 0-2 misses way outside. That's a tough one. You're right, though, right? I mean, there's nothing you can really do. There's nothing you're going to do differently, knowing that neither guy was confident of whether or not they could catch that ball until maybe the very last second.
No, and you know, it's really up to the center fielder to be the traffic cop out there and make the call, but he just couldn't do it on that one because he wasn't sure if he could get to it.
Well, this one is popped up on the left side into foul territory. Jurickson Profar is under it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But the Red Sox add 3 runs against the Rangers. They now lead it 4-0 as we'll head to the top of the 6th when we get back. Interesting in Cleveland right now. A little bit of panic as far as what's going on with their bullpen. It had been rock solid the last couple of years, but some changes, some guys struggling, and the Indians certainly don't have much of a division to deal with, but I think people in Cleveland getting a little bit nervous.
Cleveland had a 4-0 lead and coughed up 7 in the 9th yesterday. The Astros had a 4-run lead, coughed up 4. They ended up winning the game. I think both those teams are a little bit desperate for a late inning bullpen guy. Elvis has had some good at bats against Chris Sale. Second double of the game. Also battled on a pop up he hit to center field. A big breaking ball. It hangs right in the hitter zone there. Right in Elvis's anyone's wheelhouse, really.
It's good to see him taking better at bats and having some luck here against lefties. We mentioned that bunch so far. These last couple of days, some struggles there for Elvis. 194 against lefties this year. Over the course of his career, he's been in that 275, 280 range. Some of it has been bad luck, but he looks pretty comfortable against one of the toughest lefties in the game tonight, Chris Sale. So now Nomar Mazara gets an opportunity.
You know, if they picked an all-star team for statisticians around the league, our man right here would be right at the top of that
Leo?
list. Yep.
Is he awake?
Leo's up there.
What's he doing?
I was talking about Adam Rosales and how I thought he hit 2 home runs in Chicago against Chris Sale. I was right and I was wrong. He actually hit 2 home runs in a game.
Nunez fields that one, but not in time to get Nomar Mazara, and so it'll be an infield hit. Runners in the corners now for the Rangers with nobody out.
He hit 2 home runs in the game once in his life. It was in Chicago. One of them was off Chris Sale. The second one was off Daniel Webb. So
wow,
he did hit 2 that day. Only 1 was against Chris Sale, but as you said, he ended up with 3.
Still a pretty good member. I mean,
yeah. Thank you for
what
that.
year was that? Any idea?
No.
Where are you at, Leo? He's not. He's an all-star snub if he can't tell us the year.
No. Just that information puts him on my all-star team.
2014 was the year.
2014.
I didn't know that. Someone told me.
No, that was Eric Josephson. We got a lot of sources for our information, so help is usually on the way from a lot of different directions.
So Chris Sale now in a little bit of trouble with a couple of hits here to lead off the 6th inning as Adrian Beltre steps in. Adrian won 4-2 tonight. He singled in the 4th inning. So here comes pitch number 90 for Chris Sale. And Adrian takes it for a strike. Now, interesting. I thought this was interesting, Tom. Check this out. Since 2015, nobody has thrown more pitches in the regular season than Chris Sale. I see a couple of the guys there, especially Max Scherzer, who was close. And that's of interest just because of all the work that he did last year and the big season that he had. He kind of ran out of gas. He did not have a very good postseason last year. And even his last regular season start, if that was any indicator for Chris Sale. His last regular season start, he had allowed 4 home runs in that game.
Wow.
And then in the postseason, he pitched twice, once in relief. One game was a start. He went 0-2 through 9 2/3, allowed 9 runs, including 4 home runs over those 9 2/3.
Well,
I just wonder about that a little bit.
Someone might say, well, with the Red Sox and the best record in baseball, they're almost guaranteed to go to the postseason. Maybe they'll just back off a little bit. But the reality of it is they can't back off because they don't want to be the wild card team. They want to win the division. Wild card team, it's one and done if you don't win that wild card play-in.
There's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball out of the zone. Adrian Beltre chases it, so he is down on strike. Strikeout number 9 of the night for Chris Sale.
Well, he's approaching 95 or 100 pitches. Velocity is still there. Looked like that ball went up, didn't it?
It's amazing. I mean, the spin
in that
that
arm angle, I guess it has a chance.
Nobody warming up in the pen. You mentioned there it is. Pitch number 94 will be the next one. The least amount of pitches Chris Sale has thrown this season is 87. The most 116. As Hugo hits a ground ball. Nice play by Sale. The second for one over to first. Double play. It is a big double play as Chris Sale is fired up after that one. And so with runners at first and third and nobody out, the Rangers unable to get a run across. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning when we get back.
First and third, no outs in the top of the 6th, but this is how the 6th inning ended. A one-hop smash. Looked like it had a chance to go up the middle. Instead, Chris Sale made a nice play on the one-hop smash, came off the bat at 104 miles an hour, and he turned it into a double play, and he was pumped up going off the field.
It was close at first.
Yeah, boy, Ruge hit that ball hard against one of the toughest lefties in baseball and ended up having it turned into a double play.
Left on left, 104 miles an hour against one of the toughest lefties in the game.
Yeah.
It's a bad break, and this one is blooped into center field. Here comes Delano DeShields. He's not going to be able to get there, but now going to second base is Eduardo Nunez, and he is thrown out, and so it'll be a base hit, and then it'll be a 9-6 put out. Delano DeShields maybe a little bit shaken up on that play.
Boy, Delano has had in the last couple of innings several balls that he had to sprint after. Almost got hurt on the one last inning. This time extends his arm out. I'm not sure what he ended up hurting. We'll have to wait and see. He's up walking it off right now. Let's see if we can tell. Hit his head on the ground, didn't he?
Back of his head, it looked like. Nice heads up play there by Nomar Mazara, and a good throw.
Well, they're going to take a real good look at this. Saw Ronald Guzman have to go on the concussion protocol for a week on the play at third base when he was diving back on a pickoff attempt. And Delano definitely shaken up when his head hit the ground on that diving attempt with that pop up by Nunez. See him pointing to where his head hit.
Of course, Major League Baseball has done an excellent job in these spots and being a little bit more aware. As trainer Matt Lucero is taking Delano DeShields through a couple of things, and from a concussion standpoint, always being a little bit more careful. Ronald Guzman spent 7 days on a concussion DL this year, and it appears that Delano DeShields may be calling this a night.
Watch, he goes down right there, and right away he felt the effects of that dive. So he will come out of the game. Hopefully he'll be okay and be evaluated during the game, after the game, and day off tomorrow. Hopefully he'll be okay for the series opener in Baltimore on Friday.
I wonder here what the Rangers will do. We see Ryan Rua coming in, and so there could be that possibility that Joey Gallo would go to first. Or actually, I take that back. Ronald Guzman will be entering the game. He will go to first. Ryan Rua will go to center. Joey Gallo will remain most likely in left. Here's Ronald Guzman looking for someone to play catch with him. Anybody? Does anybody want to play catch with me?
No. Just move your arm around a little bit.
The best part of that is he looked at Bartolo Colon and wanted the ball that Bartolo has. Bartolo has the game ball, and he wasn't giving it up. Go find your own ball if you want to play catch. Bartolo. We certainly hope that this is just precautionary and that Delano will be okay. In this day and age, better to be safe than sorry. As I mentioned, baseball's done a really good job in that regard. Sure on Delano's condition after the game. That is Ryan Rua going out to center field, so that'll be your change. It'll be Ronald Guzman in for Delano DeShields. Ryan Rua will move to center. Base hit that turned into an out as Eduardo Nunez tried to stretch it into a double. And let's kind of think about this even before that base hit and look at what has happened here with the Rangers and the Red Sox offensively. It seems like the Red Sox, as good as they are, have gotten the breaks. They scored their first run on an error, and then JD Martinez hit one in the corner for a couple RBIs. Here's a ground ball hit to the right side that is through for a base hit for Sandy Leon. But then even the way they scored their third run, that triple from Xander Bogaerts was just a bloop that was hit in the right spot. And we've seen the Rangers robbed of a couple of hits today by the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Well, the Rangers and Dr. Pepper are teaming up. Bring a Dr. Pepper can to the box office or use the online coupon code Dr. Pepper to get tickets starting at just $11 for the Rangers against the A's. That'll be July 23rd through the 26th. Make sure you visit TexasRangers.com/specials. So Sandy Leon is aboard after the one-out base hit. That'll bring up Jackie Bradley Jr. Bradley Jr. 0 for 2 so far tonight. He grounded out to Bartolo Colon, and he was flown out to right. .203 overall for Jackie Bradley Jr. this season as Bartolo Colon gets ready for pitch number 93. And this one is lifted in the air. Ryan Rua will get tested right away. He is back, and he makes the catch up against the wall. And welcome to center field at Fenway Park.
They say the ball will find you. Ryan comes from first to center field, and right off the bat, second hitter. He has to run into the wall in center field here. Well hit ball by Jackie Bradley, and nice play by Ryan. He's playing deep enough to get back and catch it right up against the wall.
Ryan Rua is a good athlete. He's very versatile. We've seen him first, and we've seen him in left. You can put him in center when you need to. He makes a nice play there for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up Mookie Betts for the 4th time. He has been on base all 3 of his at-bats. 2 singles, a walk, and he has scored a run tonight. I mentioned Bartolo Colon has not allowed a stolen base the entire year. Second most innings allowed, I should say the second most innings recorded this season without allowing a stolen base. And with Sandy Leon on first, good chance that will stay in order, at least this inning. There's the 1-0 to Betts, and that one misses way inside. 86 miles an hour. Good movement on the 2-seam fastball, though, from Bartolo. Pitch number 96 is swung on. It's a one-hopper. Nice play by Elvis. He'll go to second. And what a play by Rougned Odor. Apparently, though, his foot was off the bag. But what a pick and a stretch by Rugi, who is still on the ground. And he He had tweaked the hamstring. Hopefully he is okay.
That was almost a beautiful play. Elvis did a nice job to backhand a tough ball. He jumped out in left field to make the throw. Kind of like Ronald Guzman at first base. Root goes all the way down, does the splits. Jeez.
Oh.
But as he did, he slid off the bag. Only difference in those splits was Ronald Guzman's legs are a little bit longer.
And it does appear that the Texas Rangers have requested a challenge here on this play. Let's get another look.
That's close.
Certainly at the end he is off. What a play by Rougned-Odor, though. My goodness. The question is, did he have his foot on the bag when he first caught the ball?
It always looks closer when you see the replay.
Well, I tell you what, the one that they just showed on the big board here, you notice that there was no reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, they can't tell.
Let's see, you'll get a good look right here. I tell you what, his foot may have still been over the base.
That's one to the naked eye. There's no possible way you would ever have thought that there was any chance that he stayed on the bag.
When you see that one there, it's pretty difficult. Here's your look. This is the one.
I think he's on the bag.
Oh, that is so close. That's one of those ones. How many times does it happen, right? Depending on which way it's called on the field, it's probably would stay the same. Hopefully that won't be the case. Now, we saw Rugi get hurt. It was last year. He had a very similar play where he tweaked his hamstring, and then, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit later, it flared up on him. Well, he is indeed called out. So the Rangers win the challenge. What a play by Rougned-Odor. Just a tremendous stretch, and we're glad that he is okay. And so it is no runs for the Boston Red Sox in this one. We will go to the 7th. Rangers still trailing 4-0. Boston Red Sox as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Chris Sale still out there. Jurickson Profar steps in, takes a first pitch strike. Jurickson is 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of ground outs. And Tom, you had Leo on the All-Star team. I'm going to put him in the Hall of Fame if he can get this one for us. Bartolo Colon that inning threw just 8 pitches. Well, the last time we saw a pitcher throw 8 pitches in an inning while also allowing 2 base hits. Certainly not an easy thing to do.
Glad you didn't ask me. I will not be in the Hall of Fame if that takes answering that question.
I'm guessing Leo doesn't really care to answer that one either.
Leo's going to settle for the All-Star team. It's not a bad place to settle for.
And really, probably what would have been 3 base hits had Rudy Odor not made that great play, and Elvis Andrews for that matter as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play. Rugi doing the splits, kept his foot on the bag and caught the short hop, scooped the short hop all at the same time.
And there's the 0-2, and it's grounded to the left side. Eduardo Nunez makes the play. Strong throw, but Jurickson Profar beats it out, and Eduardo Nunez had to play that ball back on the high hop, and he made a good throw, but great hustle by Jurickson Profar, and so it's another base hit for the Rangers.
Well, that's only an infield hit, but it's no balls and 2 strikes. It's a slider out of the strike zone, and Jurickson still hung in there and made some contact and got down the line well enough to beat it out for a base hit.
Just barely beats it out. Good job by Jurickson Profar. No challenge from the Red Sox. Alex Cora was asking the umpiring crew to hold off for a second, but there will be no challenge. It is time for our Southwest bullpen live look in, as there is now action in that Boston Red Sox bullpen. That is Hembry warming up, the right-hander. Now Robinson Chirinos takes a healthy cut against Chris Sale. So I know Dana covered this before. Just kind of quickly looking at my MLB at bat app, and had to do a double take at the Cleveland Indians Cincinnati Reds game. The Indians are currently leading the Reds by a score of 17-0.
Well, they lost
the top of the 5th inning.
They lost a 4-0 lead in the 9th inning. They're not taking any chances today. Their bullpen's bad, but I don't think it's going to be that bad.
They have only batted 4 times, and they have 17 runs.
Well, they're about halfway to the Rangers Baltimore score. A little more than halfway.
Leadoff base hit for Jurickson Profar, his first of the night. Robinson Chirinos is 1 for 1 with a walk, but he swings and misses at that 0-2 pitch, and so he is down on strikes. And we were talking about that streak. Well, it is now 10 strikeouts for Chris Sale.
Yeah, he needs 1 more strike to extend his major league record, which would be 5 straight starts with at least 11 strikeouts and 1 or 0 walks. He hasn't walked. Let's see, he's walked 1 tonight, I think, hasn't he?
He has, yes. 1 walk tonight.
So he would keep that intact.
And you see what we showed you just there. That was since 2012, most 10-plus strikeout games. And Joey Gallo is down in the count 0-1. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. Both of those strikeouts came looking on some tough pitches. One was a front door slider that caught the inside corner. The other was that 100-mile-an-hour fastball that looked like it may have been just off the plate. He was close. Joey wasn't happy about it, but he's now down in the count 0-2. And here is that 0-2, and Joey's able to lay off the slider from Chris Sale. Coming into this game, Chris Sale had registered 85 strikeouts on his 4-seam fastball. 82 have come on his slider. Those are 2 just deadly weapons that the left-hander has. And there is a slider that is swung on and missed, and there is strikeout number 11 on the night for Chris Sale. Time now for a word from our friends at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
So of those 11 strikeouts tonight, 6 have come on the slider, 5 on the fastball for Chris Sale. The bottom of the order, the bottom 3 hitters have struck out now 6 times against the lefty in 8 plate appearances. And Ryan Rua goes hacking at a first pitch fastball way out in front as he lines it into the upper deck. My goodness.
That's getting geared up to hit a fastball right there. Well, actually, it was a changeup. I thought it was a fastball. I looked at the scoreboard and it said 87 miles an hour. So maybe that's why he pulled it so foul. .106 pitches for Sale.
Puts him 10 away from his season high through 116 pitches back on May 11th. And incredible to see him still touching 99 miles per hour with pitch number 107.
And that's the thing we saw from Garrett Cole. We've seen it from Justin Verlander. These guys are just, they're not getting tired. They're not going 9, but they're throwing their 100 to 112 pitches in 7 innings and throwing 99 or 100 at the end of their stint.
There's the 1-1. There's a slider swung on and missed. That one gets away from Leon. Jurickson Profar will go down at second base easily, likely a pass ball. We'll take a look at the pitch count breakdown this season. 19 starts for Chris Sale, averaging just over 100 pitches per start. I mentioned the 116 has been a season high. 12 of the 19 starts that he has had this season have been over 100 pitches.
And he's thrown 73% strikes tonight. I think he'll be going for the strikeout with the fans standing.
I think so.
This is his last hitter.
They are on their feet, better than 35,000 here at Fenway Park. And here is that 1-2 to Rua, and that one misses at 99 miles an hour.
He threw that as fast as he could. He was trying to hit 100, but he only got to 99. Must be getting tired.
He took a little off that one for Rua. They are trying to push their ace through this 7th inning, likely certainly his last inning and maybe his last batter of the night. And the 2-2 is swung on and missed, and Ryan Rua goes down on strikes, and so it's 3 strikeouts for Chris Sale in the 7th inning. 12 on the night, so just 1 walk, no runs allowed through 7. We'll stretch here at Fenway. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, welcome back here into Fenway Park. Jake Diekman is now on for Bartolo Colon, and Diekman starts things off with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Then the numbers for Jake Diekman, 39th ball game. And for Bartolo Colon, a solid start. 3 earned runs in 6 innings in Fenway against the hottest offensive team in baseball. 4 or 5 guys in their lineup with hitting streaks, hot. And for him to come in and pitch like that against him was a solid start. He was trying to surpass Dennis Martinez as the all-time winning pitcher from Latin America. They were tied at 245. Pitched well enough to do it. Unfortunately, on this road trip, he ran into Jordan Zimmerman in Detroit and lost 3-1. Zimmerman was terrific, and Chris Sale was even better today. 7 innings, the Rangers weren't able to score against him.
So while it doesn't necessarily fall into the category of quality start, even though only 3 of the runs were earned, it kind of was against a pretty good lineup, as you mentioned. Very good lineup, as Jake Diekman records a strikeout against Andrew Benintendi. Well, Saturday, July 21st at 7:05, the Rangers will be taking on the Cleveland Indians, and the first 15,000 fans, well, they'll get an Elvis Andrus Best Friends bobblehead, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. It is the second in a series of 2 Best Friend bobbleheads. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. First pitch slider for a strike from Jake Diekman against J.D. Martinez. See the numbers there. 1 for 3 tonight for J.D. He had the 2-run double in the 5th inning. Hard ground ball was hit down the left field line. He goes chasing at a slider here in the dirt. Count 0-2. Good pitch from Jake Diekman, and that has been one of his best pitches. His best pitch all year, really, Tom. This great slider.
Well, that thing swept from one side to the other about 3 feet, it looked like, from where he let go of the ball to where he ended up. Definitely was something J.D. Martinez had a hard time contending with, and that one hangs on the outside part of the plate. That was a tough at bat right there for J.D. A couple of strikeouts in the game for him.
So a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that did Andrew Benintendi in, and now the slider from Jake Diekman. So a couple of strikeouts for him here to kick things off in the 7th inning, and now he'll deal with the left-hander Mitch Moreland. That slider misses on the inside corner, and so Diekman came in tonight. He's pretty much 2-seam fastball slider. That is what he predominantly throws. He's registered 19 strikeouts on the slider, 18 on the fastball. And Mitch Moreland goes waving on an 0-1 slider, and he wasn't even close. And there's another slider. That one is taken for a strike. And for Diekman, I mentioned how good that pitch has been for him. He has a whiff rate of nearly 40% on the slider this season. That is the percentage of pitches, the times that batters swing at it and miss it, is well above league average. And there is another slider that is swung on and missed. So 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts for Jake Diekman here in the 7th. We're going to go to the top of the 8th. The Rangers starting to run out of time here against the Red Sox.
And our summary is going to be Chris Sale. 7 innings, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts, didn't give up a run, was probably stronger in the 7th inning than he was in the 1st inning, still throwing 99 miles an hour. Terrific game. Fun to watch if you're a Red Sox fan. You know, and the funny thing is, CJ, the Rangers had 6 hits and no runs in that game, but you know, it felt for 106 pitches like they gave him a pretty good battle. It's hard to say that when you strike out 12 times, only walk once, and don't score, but they had a lot of good at-bats. They put the ball in play, had some base hits, had 1st and 3rd, no out 1 inning. He turned a double play on a ball that might have gone up the middle and extended the inning and scored a run.
So Ronald Guzman trying to go the other way, fouls that one into the stands. I missed this before the game. This was a pretty interesting note from Pete Abraham from the Boston Globe. He said Bartolo Colon prior to this game had more plate appearances against the coaching staff of the Boston Red Sox, 63 of them, than he did the actual players that are on the active roster, 62. Now that has since changed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Guzman lines another one into the stands. And another note, just my own little calculations here, which could be inaccurate. There is always that chance, but it has been 25 innings here for the Rangers offensively. They have scored in just 3 of those innings against the Red Sox. And the 0-2 from Hembry, and there's a pitch taken down and in. So count 1 and 2 to Ronald Guzman. He came in to the game defensively to replace Delano DeShields, who had left after hitting his head trying to slide for a ball. So Guzman took over for DeShields, went to first, and Ryan Rua, who was the starting first baseman, went to center. That is now 4 strikeouts in a row for Boston Red Sox pitching.
It's time for our Coors Light refreshing finish. Let's check out Elvis tonight against Chris Sale, who was at the top of his game. First time up, he shot one by Mitch Moreland into right field for a double. Got a high slider the 3rd time up and hit a double to left field. So 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles on a night where Chris Sale only gave up 6 hits and struck out 12 and didn't allow a run. Good night for Elvis.
He takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. Delano DeShields, by the way, being evaluated for neck and shoulder injuries right now. That is the official word from the clubhouse. I'm sure we'll learn a lot more after the game and more tomorrow as well. It's a 4-0 game here in the top of the 8th inning. We have not seen Craig Kimbrell in this series yet. And we'll see whether or not Alex Cora will want to use him if the score does not change at all. There is the All-Star Kimbrell. And not that it matters, and I was kind of getting to the point of just the fastballs that the Rangers have seen tonight. Well, they have a bunch of other hard throwers out there as well. The slowest fastball the Rangers have seen so far this evening has been 93 miles an hour.
Well, we've seen Matt Barnes. He's 96 or plus. Ryan Brazier was 97. Joe Kelly was 98. And we haven't seen Kimbrell yet. Probably won't see him tonight. And he's 98. So they've got some right-handers bringing some heat.
And there's the 0-2 at 96
Hembry's
miles an hour.
96. So they've got five right-handers in their bullpen. And let's see, Workman didn't throw 96, did he? He was more in the low to mid 90s. Was he 93-ish?
Yeah, Workman this year is just averaging 91 miles an hour.
Okay, he's not one of them.
He's the thumber down in that bullpen.
And I haven't seen Tyler Thornburg. He's been out for a year or so, so I'm not sure where he is.
He's averaging just over 93 miles an hour.
Okay.
Fastball. And this one is lined to right field and off the glove of Mitch Moreland. And that is another base hit for Elvis Andrus. Let's throw it back to the studio. Take another Chevy game break with Dana Larson. Thanks, Dana. And we certainly wouldn't mind seeing the Baltimore Orioles getting a little cold here before the Rangers head in. And there are the standings in the American League East. The Orioles have had a rough year. 40 games under 500. 37.5 games out of the Boston Red Sox, leading the division. But you see the Yankees trying to hang in there with the Boston Red Sox. This has been a pretty unbelievable division, at least at the top.
Yeah, it's tough to keep pace with the Red Sox. They've won 8 straight. The Yankees have won 7 out of 11 and lost 3 games in the standings.
Nomar Mazara is 1 for 3. He struck out as Elvis Andrus is on the move. There's a throw, not in time. And so Elvis is now in scoring position for Nomar Mazara with 1 out. And almost hard to believe that is Elvis's first stolen base of the season.
It was nice to see Elvis have a good game. Been able to sneak 2 balls by Mitch today, 1 on the ground and 1 off his glove on a little blooper. So for the games where he's had some line drives caught, this helps make up for it.
And there's the 1-1 grounded to the right side, but foul. The Rangers 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. The Boston Red Sox 2 for 12. So combined 3 for 18 between these two clubs in these spots. I wonder, regardless of the Rangers scoring here or not, whether or not we would see Kimbrel. He's only thrown once over the last 6 days. And he threw just 13 pitches on July 8th. He had the previous 3 days off before that. If he didn't pitch tonight, that would be 3 more. Are they off tomorrow?
I'm checking it out. No, they play Toronto.
Oh, so they have a series starting tomorrow with the Blue Jays. That'll be a 4-game set heading into the All-Star break. It's always a tough spot to be in as a manager. You feel like you want to keep your closer sharp, but you prefer to have him in safe situations. But then at the same time, you feel like the first time you go to use him in a non-safe spot just because you want to get him some work, then all of a sudden you need him 4 days in a row.
Yeah, plus he throws 23 pitches.
You mentioned Brazier, the arm that he has. Alex Cora was talking about him a little bit today. Pretty excited about what they have seen so far. He was saying that in spring training they were using him as the closer, and most of the regulars in spring training are not around in the 8th and the 9th inning in spring training. And he had said before Brazier took them out the other night, watch this, because he saw it all spring training. He knew there was something there, but he knew that the starters for the Boston Red Sox really hadn't seen him throw in a game. As they try to figure out their bullpen, they may have something. As this one gets away from Leon, that'll be a wild pitch, and Elvis Andrus will head down to third base, and not much of a reaction from the 36,920 that were here tonight. 14th sellout of the season for the Boston Red Sox.
At a point in the season when teams in a pennant race are trying to load up their roster for the postseason, before the trade deadline, a lot of teams are looking for bullpen help. When you can call one up that you've already got, you don't have to trade for, and you get a guy who looks like a gem throwing 98 miles an hour at the end of the bullpen. That's a pretty nice guy to find. Saves you giving up some prospects for someone just like him.
Full count here to Nomar Mazara. Elvis Andrus is on third after the base hit, stolen base, and this ground ball's hit to the right side. That's going to get into the outfield. Good attempt by Brock Holt, but he could not come up with it. So it'll be an RBI single for Nomar Mazara, and the Rangers are on the board. They trail it now 4-1.
A nice try by Holt. Wasn't able to get to it. He's going to have to make the play to keep the run from scoring with a man on third base.
It's the first time the Rangers. Sorry, Tom. That's the first time the Rangers have scored this series since the 6th inning. That's when they put 2 runs on the board. Joey Gallo drove in 2 with that double yesterday. Now Adrian Beltre steps in, takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle for strike 1. Adrian 1 for 3 tonight. He had that single back in the 4th inning. He struck out in the 6th. And there's a slider in good location. Adrian swings and misses. Count now 0-2. And that 0-2 pitch is down the middle, and Adrian Beltre swings and misses, and on 3 pitches is down on strikes. Let's check our forward probables for Thursday, as we'll, Friday, Thursday and off day. We'll kick off a 3-game series with the Baltimore Orioles. Cole Hamels will be going for the Rangers. It'll be Alex Cobb on the other side for the Orioles, and there have been some struggles there for Alex Cobb, who signed as a free agent. A late sign for the Orioles, 2-11 with an ERA over 6.5. And there's Cole Hamels.
It's hard for a season to go any worse than the Orioles season has gone. When they signed Alex Cobb, they were trying to add a starting pitcher for a team they thought might have a chance to be a contender.
Well, Rougned Odor chops one to the right side, and that is going to get into the outfield. He's going to go around first and head into second, and so a head first slide and a double from Rougned Odor as Nomar Mazara heads down to third, and so runners at second and third now, and the Rangers will bring the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, it's great hustle by Rugi. Down by 3 runs. Being able to get into scoring position might allow him to score on a base hit right here and make it a 1-run ball game. So he hit that smash back to Chris Sale that turned out to be a double play in the 6th inning. And this time he hits a high chopper and challenges Mookie Betts, who made a good throw. But Rugi's speed and nice slide got him into second base safely. So second and third, Rangers trying to get right back in this game.
So we'll visit now to Heath Hembry. Trying to get him kind of back on track here. Mentioned the potential tying run at the plate in Jurickson Profar after that double from Rougned Odor. Overall numbers for Profar this season now: 248, 9 home runs, 46 RBIs. Looks like 280 against lefties coming into this one, 235 against righties. There is Craig Kimbrel, the closer for the Red Sox, getting loose. It was interesting coming into the season. Alex Cora had talked about maybe getting away from the traditional usage of the closer, and he said he was not afraid to use Kimbrel. I don't want to say in a drastically different way, but maybe bring him in the 8th inning a little bit more, ask him to take on a little bit more of the load. There haven't been that many opportunities. Just 3 times this year has he pitched more than an inning, and they've all been an inning and a third. He's picked up a couple of saves and a win in those 3 games. Profar digging in here against Hembry. Robinson Chirinos is waiting on deck. Jurickson lays off that slider that's below the zone, so the count now 2-0. And here is that 2-0 slider taken down the middle, so the count 2-1 to Jurickson Profar, who has now hit safely in 10 straight. He's 14 for 40 in his last 40. That 95-mile-an-hour fastball is off the plate, and so the count 3-1 to Jurickson Profar, hitting here in a big spot. First base is open, but Profar does represent the tying run. Kimbrel has been warming in the bullpen. He appears to be ready. So if Jurickson Profar can find a way to get on, we may see Craig Kimbrel in this game. And that slider misses, and so it's ball 4 to Jurickson Profar. The bases are loaded, and just like that, Alex Cora will hop out of the Red Sox dugout. He will make the call, and that's going to be it for Hembree, and we are going to see the Red Sox closer. It is our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, and it's sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. They trail by 3, and there are 2 outs. But let's take a look at our Wells Fargo look ahead, and we will be taking a look ahead as Shin-Soo Choo will be heading to Baltimore with the Rangers to face Manny Machado. And Choo so far versed the Baltimore Orioles in his career. 290, 17 home runs, 42 RBIs. I'm sorry, that's what he's done this year. We see Manny Machado, the good season he's having as well. And now you see the Red Sox closer in. It is Craig Kimbrel on for Alex Cora.
Kimbrel 27 out of 29. He's converted his last 18 saves. Second in saves in the American League with 27. Opponents are only hitting 152 against him. Over 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's had 318 saves. He's tied with Rick Aguilera for 21st on the all-time list.
He's got Robinson Chirinos here with the bases loaded, and the first pitch is at 98 miles an hour, but it misses above the zone. A long pause there from Sandy Leon. That pitch was out of the strike zone as he looks back, and now he's talking to the home plate umpire. Marvin Hudson, the Fox Tracks, had that out of the zone as well. Kimbrel has inherited 13 runners this season. 4 of them have scored. And there's the 1-0. And that one misses way outside, so the count now 2-0. I mentioned this is now the 4th time in which the Red Sox are asking Kimbrel to throw more than 1 inning. 34 of his 37 games have been an inning or less. And the 2-0, and that one misses outside at 98 miles an hour. And Craig Kimbrel has come in and has thrown 3 straight balls to Robinson Chirinos and is in danger now of walking in a run.
It's a little interesting now. Take a couple of strikes and see if he can throw you 3 straight. At the same time, 3-1 if he throws you a good fastball to hit. I want to try and tee off on it with the bases loaded.
And that 3-0 misses downstairs, and so it is a 4-pitch walk, a bases loaded 4-pitch walk, and each Ranger will move up 1. And here comes run number 2 on the night, and the Rangers trail just by 2 now.
That's a borderline pitch, but it's tough to call that pitch a strike, especially when you see the catcher catch it and raise his glove up. He didn't think it was a strike. 2 straight walks bring in a run.
Certainly not what Alex Cora wants to see right now. And so Joey Gallo will step in. 0 for 3 so far tonight for Gallo. He does have 3 strikeouts. It's the first bases loaded walk for Kimbrel this season. And there's a first pitch slider, and that one misses. And so now it is 5 straight balls from Craig Kimbrel.
He missed with 4 straight fastballs to Robinson. Tried a slider to see if he could get back in the strike zone with it, and missed to Joey Gallo. Look for your pitch here.
And here's the 1-0, and that one catches the inside corner, and so the count even 1-1, and a sarcastic round of applause from the 36,000 here at Fenway. Craig Kimbrel has never allowed a grand slam. 43 batters faced in his career with the bases loaded. Opposing hitters batting .205 against him. That slider is swung on and missed, and so now the count 1-2 to Joey Gallo.
This is a big slider, almost like a curveball. 88 miles an hour.
Slider is fouled off, and so Joey Gallo stays alive. That was a tough pitch and a good job by Joey to foul it off. Two, and that one misses. 98 miles an hour from Kimbrel. Count even now 2-2 to Joey Gallo. Gallo is the 8th hitter to come to the plate this inning for the Rangers. 3 base hits, 2 walks, 2 runs in, and the base is loaded now for the big lefty. Swung on and missed. 99 miles an hour from Kimbrel, and so the threat is over. The Rangers do add a couple. It is now 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Fenway Park, the Rangers trying to mount a comeback and keep things close. Well, the MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here, and for just $39.99, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Subscription includes MLB App Premium, which allows you to watch your favorite team on any supported device. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Jesse Chavez comes in for the Rangers. He'll pitch the 8th inning. Rangers have made a nice game out of it with 2 runs in the top of the 8th inning. Jesse will try to shut him down, see if the Rangers can come back against one of the best closers in baseball, Craig Kimbrell.
Here's the 0-1.
Jesse Chavez pitched earlier in this series. He's going to give up one off the middle of the Green Monster. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that Bogaerts went back to first base, because he would have been out by 20 feet had he tried to go to second. Joey Gallo played that ball well off the wall. Like a hanging slider, hanging cutter on the outside part of the plate, and Bogaerts ripped it. One of those line smashes. Might have been probably a home run in Baltimore, where we're going next. But here in Fenway, if you play it well off the wall like Joey did, fired it into second, that would have been no contest.
So he hit it 106. I'm curious how hard Joey threw it back in.
I'd say probably upper 90s, it looked like.
Maybe a little frustration on that throw as well from Joey Gallo. He struck out to finish the 8th inning, and here's a hard one. Hopper, what a play by Rougned Odor to Elvis Andrus for one, over to first, double play, and what a turn by the Rangers. Jesse Chavez certainly appreciates that, and the Rangers do it again. Double play number 92, second one of the night here at Fenway. What a play.
You know, Roogie, we keep talking about Roogie, how much he's improving in all facets of his game. Over the last week or so, that's the 3rd or 4th really spectacular play that he's made. Just to catch that ball is pretty good, and then to turn it into a double play. We've seen him make that really nice play where he did the splits and kept his foot on the bag to get the force out to end the inning a couple of innings ago. Saw him make a couple of plays in one game in Detroit, going to his left, turned a double play on another one. It's really nice progress he's making defensively.
And he did a nice job on that play, right? I don't know if you mentioned it with Elvis Andrus, the split, to be able to hold the bag, that one that was challenged, and so we're seeing continued solid defense up the middle here from the Rangers. Rougned Odor really sticking out. Now this one is lined to center. Ryan Rule will let it drop in front of him, and it will be a 2-out base hit for Eduardo Nunez. Time now for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
And so with 2 outs and a runner on, Sandy Leon will step in here for the Red Sox. Jesse Chavez trying to keep things close. The Rangers were finally able to get on the board in the top of the 8th inning. Craig Kimbrell had to come in that 8th inning. He'll be back out certainly for the 9th. Jesse Chavez trying to keep it at a 4-2 ball game, give the Rangers a chance against Kimbrell, who has been very, very tough. He has converted 18 of his last 18 save opportunities. And the 0-1 from Chavez right on the corner. That one is called a strike. Count 0-2. Hit softly to the right side. Easy play for Rougned Odor, and so the inning is over. Nice job by Jesse Chavez to keep it at a 4-2 game.
I've been talking about Roogie and how well he's playing defense, and we have seen it tonight. Saw the force out he made and the double play he just.
Red Sox 4-2 in trying to avoid the sweep from the first place Boston Red Sox. Ryan Rule will lead things off here against Craig Kimbrell. Kimbrell does have 2 blown saves this season. One against the Kansas City Royals, another against the New York Yankees. And the first pitch is a breaking ball and a good one right down the middle at 87 miles an hour, 0-1 to Rua.
It's like a right-handed version of Chris Sale's slider.
It has not been a fun night for the Rangers offense. They have seen some pretty dominant pitching. They have struck out 15 times in 8 innings. And that one appeared to be just off the plate, but it was called a strike. Ryan Rua is down 0-2. So 0 for 3 with the strikeout in the 7th. It's 3 strikeouts on the night for Rua. Joey Gallo batting in front of him. He struck out 4 times in 4 plate appearances. And that 98-mile-an-hour fastball misses just off the plate. Craig Kimbrell will be a free agent at the end of the season, as will Joe Kelly. And so the top 2 arms in that Red Sox bullpen likely to be on the open market this offseason.
Well, Kimbrell's thrown 14 pitches, only 6 of them have been strikes.
And here comes the 2-2, and that fastball is right on the corner at 98 miles per hour. And so it is now back-to-back strikeouts here for Craig Kimbrell, and one to start off the 9th inning.
Take a look at Delino DeShields tonight. This is a pop-up into right center field. Delino gives an all-out dive for it, and as he hits the ground, watch the back of his head bang off the ground, kind of jammed his shoulder into the ground. Well, he had to come out of the game walking off the field with Matt Lucero. And we'll have more information on that when we pass on more information if we hear any. Probably not by the end of this game, though.
We saw him grabbing the back of his head, but he's actually being evaluated for neck and shoulder. So that's, I guess, somewhat encouraging. You just always worry about those head injuries. Like you said, we'll probably get some information more tomorrow as Ronald Guzman deals with back-to-back 99-mile-an-hour fastballs, and Elvis Andrus Almost got hit by that one.
That was a funky looking check swing right there. Looked like he was trying to hit Elvis with this one.
That's a two-seamer too. Wow.
He's playing cricket. Ball sliced right. That's Elvis. That's scary right there, boy.
Here's the 0-2, and it's at 99 miles an hour. And Guzman's able to hold up his swing. That is 3 straight 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. What a night it has been for Red Sox pitching in regard to velocity and what the Ranger hitters have had to deal with tonight. The timeout now called, and I don't think Craig Kimbrell had any idea as he threw a slider.
He called time in plenty of time, but Kimbrell looks off to the right before he throws the ball. He wasn't looking, had no idea. Threw a pretty good slider that almost handcuffed Sandy Leon too.
You'd almost like to see your shortstop or middle infielder jumping up
Bring
and
their
down,
hands
letting
up.
him know.
Yeah.
Or wherever he was looking, whatever direction that was in, or maybe he was even at third.
Kimbrell certainly has a unique way to get his sign from the catcher.
And there's 99 miles an hour again, and that one is swung on and missed by Ronald Guzman. So he has come in as a defensive replacement and has struck out twice in 2 at-bats.
Yeah, it's a tough night to be a hitter facing these guys.
The slowest fastball the Rangers have seen tonight was at 93 miles an hour. We've seen well over 70 fastballs, anywhere from 93 to 100, and there is 99 once again from Craig Kimbrell. It's 5 straight 99-mile-an-hour fastballs. And the 0-1, and that 99-mile-an-hour fastball catches the inside corner, and Elvis Andrews not happy with the call. Marvin Hudson says that one caught the plate.
It's obviously a borderline pitch that could be called a strike. It's right on the edge of the strike zone based on our Fox track grid.
Rangers down to their last strike, and there's a slider way in the dirt, and Elvis Andrews holds off. Bannister looking on. Elvis Andrews tries to find a way to get on base and bring the potential tying run to the plate. Here's 1-2, and that one is swung on and missed, and that is 19 straight for Craig Kimbrell when it comes to save opportunities, and this ball game is over. 2 hours and 58 minutes. The final score of 4-2. The Red Sox take this one. Well, Dana Larson, Jeff Fry, and Mark McLemore, they'll have player